What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
We got our Sunday finale here, guys, on another Cowboys chat, ending another week, crowning some champions, and hey, talking not just about this week and the things that the fallout of what went down in the first week of free agency, the lack of from the Cowboys, but also what's coming up next. Week 2 of free agency starting tomorrow. Wave 2, week 2. It's really like wave 3. What other question marks we got to fill in on this team? Is a lot of question marks. Some guys gone here, like Tyron Smith. Some guys promoted here in the coaching side of things. And we got some ballers here in the chat, like Dwayne Brassard with that $4 Dak holler.
Woo, thank you so much, Dwayne, for a classic Go Cowboys.
Appreciate you. And hey, I'm going to go through all the people that are, on the board, leading the board. And as we wrapping up a week here, how far everybody is from getting some crownage, some champions. Anyways, thank you all for joining us again tonight for another one. As we open this up here, first let me start off with shouting out the great Dwayne Brassard, the top dog, with his $4 holler pre-stream there. We also had pre-streamed love from Skeptical Fan. Yes, the man staying skeptical in the PayPal $1.34 drop. And then right after that, $4.07 drop. Much love for Mr. Skeptical Fan. The Lunatic, star level member. Representation. Yes, he's a star level member back there again. And last night we had some After Dark. We didn't have any stream here yesterday. We kind of passed on it, but there was not much news. We did have some news, I guess, on the After Dark special side of things. Yeah, MCF After Dark was a lot of fun. And there was a couple of drops there. Jason Renfro dropping $6 in the Cash App. Got James Davis and Roy Strasner both back in that navy blue crew. And the guy who took over. We'll tell you what, he took over there almost took over there on the After Dark session, but he almost took over here as well. Almost. I'll explain in a minute. Deadfool. Well, a whole bunch of drops yesterday in the party mode on pre St. Patrick's Day party over there we had on After Dark. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody now. Today I'm recouping, and I do also want to shout out one more person who's gonna get did a pre-stream drop here today, actually, earlier this morning, I think. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Stanley Smith, dropping a $15 holler in the Cash App.
Thank you.
Another big thanks to him. But as I was saying, so far, who's got these boards right now, right? So you see the sponsor of the week, the man, the brand man, Jeremy Bramlett, who's been there, he goes there like once or twice a year. He hits that big time Cash App. I mean, the sponsor of the week. He took over that. He took over the gifting membership, who, again, he championed there as well. He had the stream boss there, but Marco Seppian. We had Tyron Smith, former Tyron Smith, 77 points left on that. And McLovin, the man McLovin, 5 weeks in a row as a Cash App. Will it be 6? We'll find out tonight. The thing is, the gifting board, the leader right now, it's Jason Renfro. Is it Jason? Yeah, it is Jason Renfro. He's dropped 2. Skeptical Fans dropped 1 gifted membership. So that's a battle that could be decided tonight. It looks like we're going to have a new champion, though. The brand man might be giving that crown up to somebody else. Jason Renfro said, hold on, I'm dropping that quick dollar holler. And that's going to be a Go Cowboys, I know.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you.
Much love to Jason. Yes. Love. He's moving up the board slowly but surely. Top 5, I think. Uh-oh. The battle commences here. Jason's gifted another membership here, and this one goes to the man on fire, Fuego.
Ooh.
Appreciate him. Congrats to him, and I appreciate Jason Renfro as he is now a couple away from moving past Marissa Sparkle on the overall board. Much love to Jason Renfro once again. Appreciate you, man. After Dark or here.
Thank you, Jason. And by the way, like you said, congrats, Fuego. Go ahead, drop him if you got him now.
Yeah, and I did want to also make a mention that when it comes to our boards right now, like I said, Jason is in the lead, 3-1 right now. We're Skeptical Fan on the gifting membership side of things. The Cash App side has been 5 weeks in a row for McLovin, and the sponsor week is Jeremy Bramlett. But like I said, Deadfool went crazy yesterday on the After Dark session. And Deadfool is no fool. He's in first place on the Cash App board. And also, well, actually, in second place right now on the overall board. I think he is. No, he's in first place. I'm sorry. He's in first place on the overall board in front of a couple of the ballers here in first, trying to get that top spot. Mark Hovsepian and, of course, McLovin. So those guys are second and third place. Deadfool is first on the overall board, and he looks like he may try to stop that McLovin streak in the Cash App. We shall see. But Deadfool taking over on the After Dark session and taking over here as well. So appreciate him. I appreciate everybody here in the house. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways of dropping the love, whether it's a pre-stream or in-stream super chat. There's the thanks button. You can jump in the membership like the Lunatic did. You can, and James Davis and Roy Strasner, but you can also gift memberships like you just saw Jason Renfro do. But there's other ways you can challenge guys like McLovin and Deadfool for that Cash App crown and also help your overall numbers. How do you do that, baby?
Of course, you have the Cash App, # My Cowboys Family. You have the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, and of course the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat, which, by the way, we do have to give another shout out to Skeptical Fan, who did drop a $4.07 pre-stream drop in the PayPal.
Yeah, I did that already.
Yeah, you shouted it out?
Yeah,
okay,
I shot.
No, just
he actually had two of them. He had $4.07 and $1.34.
Perfect.
Pre-streamer there. So yes, in the PayPal, which counts, like you said, in the Cash App crownage here. So appreciate all you guys doing it through all the different ways. And I think we did our everything but our last final shout out, which we do on the nightly. All right, that is other than Fridays / Saturday nights when we do the silver level as well.
We have all membership levels.
Navy, here. Blue, silver, but then you got the star and over everything level membership, as you can see here, and that's a monthly raffle as well. In March, at the end of March, we're going to have a raffle. Everybody in the star level, you get a raffle entry for this thing, and I think we have one person in the over everything, Seabass. He gets two, and the over everything you get two raffle entries. But there's other ways of getting in this month. And like I said last week, we had Jeremy Bramlett winning the sponsor of the week. He's one of the weekly winners here on this board. You also will get a bonus raffle entry for this. And hey, you can stack them. You can do 4 in a row. If you win all 4 weeks this month, you get 4 raffle entries. So just wanted to update everybody on that. That's coming at the end of this month, at the end of March. But I also want to do the nightly shout-outs to the star and over everything level, which is one of the major perks here, because you guys really run the boards here. So, baby, without further ado, why don't you rep that star and over everything?
Thank you very much, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Andy Potched, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Seabass.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if there's any comments in the chat, but it's time to do the shout-outs up in that chat as well.
Ooh, shout out to the man Seabass himself.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Everything in the house.
Even Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas, came to join us here. Real shit had to come talk real football. Yeah, Fuego, what's up? Bringing the heat.
They're making some moves. I'll talk about. We talked about Russell Wilson. We got to talk about Justin Fields yesterday.
Stephen White, much love. PPC Records, hello and hi. We have Jason Renfro, of course. Yeah. James Herr, much love. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. You see Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. Top dog,
much love to Skeptical, everybody now.
Spoony Dog, hello and hi.
Spoony.
We have Daniel Berry Sports, what's up? Oh, cool, much love. Yeah, tiring in any other color but blue makes me sad.
Yeah.
Oh. Juan Carlos, hello and hi. Mike Aldana, what's up? Cirillo Correa. Majestic YouTube, sorry about that. Hopefully you were able to make that up. Even you, Lee Side Herald. I think Freedom First, congrats to you. You were first today. Eric Wallace, hello and hi, much love. So, with that said, I think that's everyone here. I'll keep doing some shout outs as people kind of keep rolling in here.
Yeah, I'm making a quick move here for Jason, as he is now officially in 4th place, right behind Marco Seppian on the overall board. And again, like I said, still in 1st place, now by 2 over Skeptical Fan, who has 1. He's got 1. Jason got a field goal. Skeptical got 1 point on that board. Yes. So we'll see who takes it down by the end of tonight.
We have Texas Twister. What's up? Stay safe out there on the road.
Yeah. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm born ready.
Let's get rolling, guys. Not a lot of info today, but enough to just have a couple quick discussion points here, and then a little bit of what's coming up next here as we end this week and start a new week tomorrow. So just so we get the NFL news out the way, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We know about the connection he has with Aaron Rodgers, maybe the vice presidential running mate for him. Not going to happen, guys. Today or yesterday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tapped Nicole Shanahan as his running mate. Just a little side joke here. Aaron Rodgers foiled by a Shanahan yet again. Anyways, that was kind of pseudo football news. Now let's get to the to a little bit more interesting football. Not interesting, but kind of dangerous football news, and that's Tyreek Hill. Man, that guy, he had 3 kids in 1 year. This past year in 2023, he divorced his wife and married his wife again. And then, I don't know. It's craziness going on. Now, police were reportedly called to his home in January over a, quote, domestic dispute arising from his effort to get his wife to sign a post-nuptial agreement. Remember that issue, getting divorced, and it sounds like it had something to do with this. And she told police that he smashed an unlit cigar in her face. So again, Tyreek Hill, way back to the breaking his son's arm, or we don't his baby. I mean, his son's arm was like he was like 2 years old, the kid 3 years old. Whether it was him or his mom, meaning the child's mom, or Tyreek's girl at the time. Now this situation, he has 3 kids over it. He's so volatile. He seems like a little bit better put together, and right now a much better athlete on the field version of Antonio Brown.
Yeah, honestly, the whole situation just sounds insane, and honestly, I have a feeling that the Tyreek Hill saga will unfortunately only continue.
Crazy thing, he's never been suspended by the NFL ever. So, anyways, now. Moving on from the NFL news, just a little draft clip here, a little quick second of draft news. A guy that we might see maybe drafted by the Cowboys. We've talked about him. There's videos I put up on this guy in the shorts section who was at the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. Quantez Stiggers, cornerback. All right. At his pro day, he had a pro day yesterday, which again, he's from the CFL, guys, from the college, from the Canadian Football League. So his pro day, there's no team he's working out for, but like there's no college he's working out with. But 29 teams showed up. 29 teams showed up to his quote unquote pro day, including 3 NFL defensive back coaches were also present there. I'm sure the Cowboys were there. The Cowboys did seem interested and spoke with him at the Shrine game. So he posted a 36.5-inch vertical, a 10-foot 8-inch broad jump, and basically middle and high 4.4. The number of people pulled were 4.47 in the 40. And he's 203 pounds. So far, 10 NFL private visits have occurred, potentially more coming soon. This is after he was the Canadian Football League's Rookie of the Year last year with the Toronto Argonauts. And again, was dominant this past, in the week that we watched at the Star, the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's why he caught my attention. He's a guy, probably won't be not going to be a first rounder, but he'll be out there and about in the second, third, fourth. Who's going to take a chance and grab him? Why not? The Cowboys will need some depth there at cornerback. Speaking of cornerback, our buddy here, Trayvon Diggs, man. I'm telling you, he's been working back to get in the mix of things. Where's Trayvon? There he is. But he had an issue last year with an influencer. Was it Black China or China Black? I don't know. The point is, it was like,
I don't think it was her.
I don't know. It was somebody. I don't know. He had an issue with somebody, and it was like he was like shooting at her. Or, there was a whole thing where she was shooting at him, or going to bring up some kind of issue saying that he was he hashtag me too. I don't know, some bullshit. And nothing came up of that. Well, today we found out, yesterday, I guess. Congratulations to Trayvon Diggs. He's expecting his 3rd child. We know about Aiden Diggs. Yeah. He had another child, and now he has a 3rd child with a 35-year-old influencer, Joey Chavis. I don't know who this lady, but I do know she already has 2 children with Bow Wow, and also a child with rapper Future. Trayvon, what you doing? You're sticking it in there with other, pre-used rapper poon from the older generation. I'm just saying, it's just a little Trayvon Diggs got to get off the Instagram shit. He's got to get off the OnlyFans shit.
At this point,
come on, Trayvon. What are you doing? Come on.
He has a child already. He has, I think, more than one child, right? So that's the point. Like, it's not like it was once is a mistake.
Twice, 3 times, a
lady.
Twice
is an accident. 3 times, you were asking for it.
Yeah, Trayvon,
I'm just saying, in this situation, especially with someone who has their own history of, you know.
Listen, congrats to Trayvon Diggs, but
congratulations.
But you're stupid, Trayvon. You're spreading your seed.
Look, if that's what he wants,
and you're fucking up your shit. But that's it. Hey, that's his choice. Trayvon, you do your thing, but
Jason Renfro's doing his thing.
You're looking stupid, Trayvon.
Jason, he's not looking stupid.
Jason never looking dumb. He's taking Marco Sipian down to 74 points, dropping that $1.60 holler with a
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Hell yeah. Much love, Jason. Renfro, bro, in the house. Anybody's thoughts out there about Trayvon spreading a seed to every freaking, Jack and Jill up the hill?
Said, them crumb snatching chitlins get expensive. He said, Harold said, I do see a pattern there. So
feels like it. Does feel like it. I don't like it. Kathy in the house. Fuego, Seabass, even real shit, Jason. Let's keep it rolling.
Jason Renfro said once, twice, 3 times a lady.
Yep.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, how many times does it have to happen before it starts to become, we can consider it an established pattern, right?
Yeah.
Like its own route he's running. Anyway.
Oh, Trayvon Diggs. Just be smart on the field. That's all I'm worried about right now. Okay, and rehabbing, he's going to get back out there. Hopefully, with the ACL, we get a little worried. Like my Michael Gallup situation, he hasn't been good even 2 years after his freaking ACL. And I'll talk to real shit about Michael Gallup in a moment, but I don't think Pittsburgh's where he's going. Before I get to that, though, let's talk about his Steelers. Because they are doing something like, I got to give them credit. Front office is making some moves. Again, when you see teams making moves, even the Eagles, I hate the Eagles, but they're making moves. Steelers making moves. Teams are making moves, but we sit on our fucking hands and do shit. So the Bears ended up trading away quarterback Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So now a new quarterback in the competition for the starting job there in Pittsburgh. Of course, they got rid of Pickett after they got Russell Wilson. And now they brought in there Justin Fields. So my goodness, they're stacked with 2 quarterbacks that, could be starters anywhere in the NFL probably. The trade condition, basically, for this deal, 2025, 6th round pick was traded to the Steelers. I'm sorry, I'm saying the Steelers traded that pick. The Steelers traded a 6th round pick, not even this year, next year's 6th round pick, to the Bears for Justin Fields. That is incredible. I mean, this is a first-round top guy pick. I think he's a damn good quarterback. I just think he's in a bad situation in Chicago for a 6th-round pick. Now I know they got to pay the money for him, but that's a 6th-round fucking pick. Okay. And that becomes a 4th-round pick, which is still just a 4th-round pick, if he plays in over 50% of the games of the plays this season. So you got to play over 51%. You got to play 51% or more of the plays on the field on offense this season. If he does do that, meaning he beats out Russell Wilson and he gets full-time, he plays more than half the season. If he does that 6th-round pick to the Bears becomes a 4th-round pick to the Bears. Either way, I mean, if he's playing over 51%, that means he's doing something for them. That means it's worth that 4th-round pick. And a 6th-round pick is a steal. I mean, it's both a steal. Now, you got to remember, his cap hit, isn't he still in a rookie contract, Justin Fields? So he's not getting that. The big, maybe it's $20 million, but that's cheap for a quarterback in their 4th year, whatever year he's in right now. The Steelers, they had their quarterbacks, as real shit can attest to, were Kenny Pickett last year, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph. Those are their 3 quarterbacks last season. This season, going into 2024, it's Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Now, that's crazy. That's a crazy collection of quarterbacks. And you got to admit, it's a massive upgrade. A massive upgrade for the Steelers. You look at these 2 sets of quarterbacks. Yeah. For only basically $1.2 million for Russell Wilson, because the Broncos are paying the rest of his contract. Yeah. And a 6th-round pick currently for Justin Fields. And, of course, they got to pay his contract. But they acquired him with a 6th-round pick, and they acquired Russell Wilson for $1.2 million. I got to give credit to the Steelers. Fuck Steelers. Fuck Pittsburgh, the Squealers. But
I hate them.
That's a great fucking move, and you can't lose. Either guy produces. One guy is for the now and Russell Wilson. The other guy is for the future and Justin Fields. They're set. They're not picking a quarterback in the draft.
Now, one thing I will say, though, it feels like because the Justin Fields situation is slightly Cowboy adjacent with the whole Trey Lance thing, did we get fleeced in that deal?
Well, yeah. I think we did. It kind of, again, here's the thing. First and foremost,
okay. You can discuss that in more detail later if you have something on that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I was actually going to get that.
Okay.
But Russell Wilson, the sources are saying who's the starter, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Right now, Russell Wilson is the starter. But obviously that can change. But yes, I wanted to bring that last thing up about this is that I don't want to. I hate even thinking about the fact that we gave up a 4th round pick for Trey Lance. Well, we could have given up a 6th round pick for Justin Fields. You know what I mean? Like, that is mind blowing.
Pick for Justin Fields.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this is insane. And listen, the background of this is Justin Fields wanted to go somewhere. He said it was like 4 or 5 teams. I think at least 4 teams that were interested in him.
Yeah.
They were going to make a deal with. The Bears didn't go with what was the best deal for them necessarily. They went with the best deal where Justin Fields wanted to play. Okay. So he kind of said, look, out of the 4 places he was going to be set to go, Pittsburgh was the place he kind of wanted to go. They made the deal for. I guess the compensation for the other places were not that great. Not much better than what the Steelers were asking for. So I don't know what's wrong with the NFL. They think Justin Fields is not good, but my goodness, what I see from him, he's a very solid quarterback with a lot of upside.
Right.
Steelers got a great deal there, in my opinion. And again, they get a year to play with him as the backup on his rookie deal. They can make a choice whether or not, if they don't re-sign him, then it's a 1 year. It's basically giving up a 6th rounder for a 1 year Justin Fields backup, which isn't great for the Steelers at that point. And they don't sign him. But if he's the starter next year, he's going to be the starter next year or start sometime this year, then it's a fantastic deal. Even if it goes to a 4th round pick, they got the quarterback of their future. They don't have to draft anyone or anything like that. So that's kind of it. The Trey Lance situation dissipated in the trade sense to the Vikings when they are getting draft picks, try to get a top quarterback in this draft, and that leaves us holding Trey Lance for $5 million as a 3rd stringer right now behind Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. But for a 4th round pick, while Justin Fields going for a 6th, that could become a 4th. There's now no comparison in the mistake that the Cowboy front office did once again overpaying. Yeah. So any quick thoughts on that? I don't know if you saw anyone in the chat about the Trey Lance thing or if you remember that. But
let me see. Mike Aldana said the Steelers are going to try to work on a long-term deal with Wilson after next season.
I don't think so with that one. I think it's the other way around. I think they signed him for $1.2 million. Might as well have a veteran in there. And then they traded for a guy, barely traded for anything for a guy in Justin Fields who's going to be the future. Said,
I think that the Wilson field is a pot of soil to a seed rather than a pot of gold. So, and as in, like, he's there to help Justin Fields grow, right? Because that's how I'm taking that, too. So, Fuego is saying Justin Fields is a great player. He just needed to be with the correct coaching staff, and he's taking it to the house.
Listen, Mike Tomlin is a fantastic coach. He's a guy I wish we had here in Dallas. The guy keeps his team good, even if he doesn't have the players to do it with. He develops them and makes them better than they are. So, Tomlin's a great coach. He's in a great spot there. Justin Fields, he's learning. Remember, they got Russell Wilson first. Now they got Justin Fields. Now it's a place for Fields, like you said, to learn and kind of take off from that. Next year, Russell Wilson will probably be gone. And I predict Justin Fields either will be gone, but I think he'll be signed to a long-term contract. That is the play here by the Steelers. And if it works out, they'll be looking like geniuses. If it don't work out, it's not really a big loss.
Exactly.
So it's a great move for them. Now, moving on to the rest of the NFL news, the Browns today agreed to terms with former Baltimore Ravens quarterback Tyler Huntley. They got him a 1-year contract for the VSB, the Veteran Benefit Minimum Salary, and that's official there. So they got one of their backup 3rd-string quarterbacks over there. The Chiefs and the Colts right now are trying to get the details ironed out on a trade. It's going to send their tagged cornerback star, L'Jarius Sneed, to the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are supposedly going to send a 2024 3rd-rounder and then an additional 2025 pick somewhere in there. We don't know the deals yet. They're trying to work it out. Remember, it's not just about getting the player, which is, again, a third and probably maybe a fifth in 2025. It's also the money that they got to spend on him. This is going to cost, $20 million, whoever's going to pick him up. So this is the deal, is to tag him, send him to a place where he wants to go, where a team that wants him, like the Colts, let's say, and then the Colts are going to pay him. They're going to make the big trade, and then they're going to pay him the money he's been asking for. That's kind of like the deal that's going to happen. So L'Jarius Sneed on his way to Indianapolis. Free agent wide receiver Baxton Berrios, formerly of the Jets, of the Dolphins. He's re-signing with the Dolphins on a one-year deal worth up to $3 million. And talking about receivers, there's one off the board. Seahawks are signing former Dolphins linebacker Jerome Baker. Very good, very solid linebacker for the Dolphins. One of the guys I liked to, as a possibility to come here, even if he did get hurt in the middle of the season last year. What was the deal for Seattle Seahawks? And Mike McDonald, who was a fantastic defensive coach, now their head coach in Seattle. They brought in Jerome Baker for a one-year, $7 million deal. Very inexpensive for Jerome Baker. So this deal was, it's something that, I think it's, he's trying to get a one-year kind of, prove it deal kind of situation to bounce off another team.
Yeah.
While the Seahawks are getting themselves a very solid player for, I would say, a cheap price there for $7 million. Now, the Chargers also expected to sign, and I say sign, I guess re-sign, their former second-round pick and veteran linebacker Denzel Perryman. Yeah, he's this is a guy you guys were talking about maybe bringing in the Dallas linebacker. But
he's like the linebacker market again. Where we're starting to get into that slim pickings territory.
Yeah, I mean, just with Jerome Baker gone and now Denzel Perryman off the board, Perryman got a one-year deal to return to the LA Chargers. He was in San Diego. And then he went to the Rams. I don't know where he went. He was in San Diego in I guess LA, Rams, and San Diego. 2015 to 2000. For those years, he was there. A couple years out with other team. Then now back to the Chargers on like I said, a one-year deal.
Yeah.
Not going to be too expensive for him. But, it's a guy we could have had. We already have Eric Kendricks. One last name I wanted to bring up, and that's, one last name that is, a couple names actually, but one here, an Odell Beckham Jr. And no, I don't think he's coming to Dallas, but he's saying goodbye to Baltimore, 100%. So he will not be returning to the Ravens next year. The deal I'm hearing is that Odell Beckham and the Super Bowl champion Chiefs have mutual interest in getting a deal done. Who, again, they just brought in another receiver there, Hollywood Brown, to help Mahomes. They're trying to maybe bringing in Odell Beckham to help Mahomes. We'll have to wait and see. The last non-Cowboy piece of news, former Bills All-Pro and Pro Bowl cornerback Tre'Davious White, who's a free agent now, has visits scheduled with the LA Rams and the Las Vegas Raiders this week. And a few more teams are starting to show interest at all, right now for him, who was cut by Buffalo earlier this month. He's still working his way back from a torn Achilles.
Okay.
So keep that in mind as well for a great cornerback who got injured. Rebounding from that stuff is tough to do. And I'm going to bring that back to the Panthers here. Why? Because real shit, I don't know if he's in the house anymore, but he was talking about getting Michael Gallup. Well, right now, guys, the Panthers.
Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, the Panthers. Right here. There's Michael Gallup. The Carolina Panthers are the ones, they were trying to maybe do a trade with the Cowboys when the Cowboys were talking about trading Gallup last week. We released him. He's a free agent now. And now the sources are saying that the Panthers are the ones in the lead right now to try to add Michael Gallup as a weapon to their receiving core there. He is going into Carolina to the Panthers for a visit sometime early next week. That's Monday or Tuesday. So he'll be checking out the Panthers. I have no word for you about the Steelers, but I'm going to say this, the real shit, so he understands something here. I know he doesn't understand a lot of things. Michael Gallup, do not buy into, again, I hope somebody gets him and they, and I hope he does well, but I'm going to be real about this, guys. Before even his injury, his ACL tear, Michael Gallup never really created separation with the receivers. So that's always been an issue with him. He's had little injuries, calf strains, and this strain and this pull, kept him out 2-3 games a year here and there.
He's had, moments here and
Yeah.
there where he shined or he's
Of course,
come
no,
out
he's
looking really good.
he
and
had
stuff
one
like
great
that, so.
season, and he had other good seasons, but he's made some great plays. Some of that sideline toe drag swag, keeping those toes in bounds. He does a great job at doing that.
But a lot of that has been from a handful of years ago already, not necessarily in recent time or recent memory.
Right, and to me, it's not even about the big plays he makes or the feet in bounds. Or listen, if the ball gets put to him and he gets his hands on it, he'll make the catch. If he gets the ball in his hands and he's got to climb the sideline, stay in bounds, he'll do that. The problem with him is that you have to have perfect passes all the time. He will not have separation. One of the worst receivers in separation this year. And again, this was even one of the worst even before the injury, but now he's like one of the worst. Like for sure, one of the worst at creating separation with receivers. Unless it's a blown coverage, you're probably not going to see Gallup catching many passes wherever he goes. I'm just being honest, guys. So good luck to the Panthers. If the Steelers go and grab him, good luck to you guys. Do not put too much stock into that because we've seen Gallup's issues in the past. We've all seen his greatness and all that, and how good he can be. But it kind of hit a ceiling, and then he got injured. And it's only been worse since then. Forget about the year he came back from the injury. That was a horrific season, but I'm not going to put that on Gallup as much. Last year, he's going back from that ACL, another horrible season. So, hey, maybe somebody else could do something with him, but I doubt he'll be very effective for anyone. Other than a third receiver that doesn't get separation. And I hate to say it, but we love Gallup, but listen, he's run his course when it comes to his best days of NFL football. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, they're definitely behind him, unfortunately.
What's the quick comments on Michael Gallup, baby?
Tyrone Church is saying, I think he needed a change of scenery.
That's probably another thing too, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do think maybe other places can use him a little better, but I don't think it's going to be, too much more of an improvement over what he already is, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Nice burn bar. Not NFL related, but still a funny comment. Seabass said, I like Gallup deep, out, wide. He was great before that injury.
Yeah.
And I always said Gallup was not a fast guy.
He's never been fast. He can make the catches, though. He's a high point receiver. He can jump up and high point the ball, which he's great at. The problem, I like them using him more like in the goal line situation. We didn't use him that much. We went other direct. We were horrible in goal line. We never even used Gallup. But to me, it's like I like him outside wide. I like him going deep. He's a great stretch the field guy, but not with speed, with athletic ability and kind of staying in bounds. But the fact that his separation has decreased and it was really bad from the receivers, he has less chance to, number one, get open, even slightly open. Number two, the quarterback to have trust that he's going to make the catch because he's going to be blanketed most of the time. So those things keep targets from going Gallup's way. So that's the issue there.
Let me see. And of course, shout out Burn Bar. Double R, shout out to you as well. Fuego said, Gallup will never take that wide receiver deep route to get open again. He's going to say, yeah, he can do it only for the money and then fall off like he did here. Mike Aldana said he's regressed since his injury.
Yeah.
So, Brandon J, what's up? Matt Batten, much love to you as well. All good.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, that's basically the wrap-up on Michael Gallup. Carolina Panthers sometime early next week. Other teams may be lining up. We'll see. Maybe the Steelers. Who cares? He's not a Cowboy anymore. Now, a guy I am worried about, and I think you talked about him, baby, is Jonathan Hankins. Now, we discussed it. I heard about him maybe going to Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks said they were interested in Hankins. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Hankins today wrote on Twitter, quote, free agency news coming soon. Mm-hmm. But enjoy this conversation I had with my guy, Damone Clark, during last season. # big time talks. Now, he literally just went to Seattle the day before he posted this. Now he's got free agency news. So listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
But I do not. My guess. Some people are saying he's gonna. I saw in the comments like, "Thank you, you're coming back to Dallas." God, what the fuck are these people smoking? That'd be a miracle at this point. He comes back. The Cowboys haven't spoken to him, and he's got free agent news. I'm gonna make a bet that if it's not Seattle, I mean, it might be Dallas. If it passes over somehow and Seattle don't sign him. But Hankins, I believe, will probably announce soon in a couple days. He'll be going to the Seattle Seahawks. I hope I'm wrong. But the feeling I'm getting by Jonathan Hankins' comments and the feeling I'm getting by the Seattle Seahawks comments and you put the pieces together, Hankins looks like he's heading to Seattle. Cowboys are going to be short on that defensive nose tackle spot. And that, I don't care if we got Jesus H. Christ himself or Superman at the middle linebacker, it's going to be still a problem to stop the run.
If someone goes to a strip club, I don't think they went there to check out a library book. Just throwing that out there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let me see. Justin Tolbert, what's up, said Jalen Tolbert's going to ball out in place of Gallup.
I think he's next up, but we still may get a receiver in there.
Mm-hmm. So Rolando Rodriguez said, MCF, why haven't the Cowboys extended CD before Jefferson gets signed? They always wait too long. The money's only going up. Go Cowboys.
I'm going to answer that real quick. The reason
the money is going up. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, look, every time a receiver signs, the money goes up for CeeDee Lamb if it's a high level elite receiver. The reason I think the Cowboys are waiting is not because they're waiting. I think CeeDee Lamb is waiting. Guys, we know that CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson are right now doing like a game of chicken, trying to figure out who gets off the road first and takes the first deal. So the second guy gets a little bit more than him. It's so silly to me because you're talking about what? Out of $30 million, you're talking about $30.5 million and $30 million. I mean, who gives a fuck? But both guys obviously care, Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. They want to hold off as long as possible till one of them crack and make the deal. I'm hearing the Vikings are trying to trade Jefferson. So who knows? The Cowboys, we want to sign Jefferson, but as Jerry and Steven has said in the past, it's not only up to them, it's up to the player and their agent as well, and they want to see what's out there in the sense of what other receivers are getting. So I'm going to be honest, I think it's less on Jerry and Steven, but I also know that Jerry and Steven also don't mind waiting because it makes them look good in the sense that we don't have any cap money. If we extend him, we have $13 million in cap money on top of whatever we have left over. Now we got almost $20 million in cap with a move of CeeDee Lamb extension. But because we're not paying him enough in the sense of like over the market value, he wants to wait till Justin Jefferson gets his deal and see what he signs for. That's my opinion on that. I could be wrong. Maybe the Cowboys are just grossly under offering him shit, and then he's just like, fuck you, I'm just going to keep waiting. If that's the case, it's a typical Jerry Jones move. But I think in this case, it's more about the receiver market for CeeDee Lamb versus Justin Jefferson. You know where the clown show fucked up, though? Pretty simple. The clown show fucked up last year when they should have pushed to get CeeDee Lamb signed for $28 or $29 million, because this year it's going to be over $30 million. It's just about getting it done and not having to go and fight the receiver market, not have to worry about Justin Jefferson. Now, the Cowboys, no, the Cowboys wanted to make sure they wait till the last second to try to extend them. Now CeeDee Lamb wants to wait to see what Justin Jefferson does. That's the way this thing goes. That's business in the NFL right now, guys. So, that's the update there. Any other thoughts on this before I keep it moving? I mean, that's a great question by Rolando Rodriguez.
Let me see. Seabass said, MCF, MCW, I think this, and this is solely my assumption, based off your reactions to Hankins possibly becoming a Seahawk, this is a dawn as year. I don't see this team competing. We are grossly overvaluing.
And, yeah,
this is a dawn as a year.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that dawn word is a typo. Just I think this is... yeah, I do think that it feels like, again, it does almost feel like a rebuild. Which, again, feels like a weird thing to say considering how many big-name players we're about to sign. So, but, well, that hasn't quite happened yet. So, I don't know. It just definitely seems like a very weird strategy, considering how much supposedly top-tier talent you have. Just saying.
I mean, I don't know what the Cowboys are doing, but...
yeah, down this year. Yeah, this is a down as year.
Yeah, down as year. And again, it's like a rebuilding year.
Year.
It feels like a rebuilding fucking year. And it's done on purpose by the Joneses. Brandon J, 2024, dropping that $2 holler. Give us a little update here. I didn't get to say this one. This seems like it happened a little later. But yes, Oren Burks signed to the Eagles on a 1-year deal. And it's funny because Oren Burks is a guy that I actually had on my short list of the last round of guys you want to go at linebacker. Now, we got Eric Kendricks, so I'd rather have Kendricks than Oren Burks. But he was one of the guys that, like a top 10 on some people's list of free agents at linebacker. Of course, the Eagles sign him. Fantastic.
Yeah, Mike Aldana said we're all in on our own guys. Exactly. Yeah. Matt
barely.
I hope Hankins doesn't go to the Seahawks because that's a huge blow to the team.
We got to, listen, I'm going to be real. We got to start looking somewhere else. Start thinking, everybody, all my family members,
better start moving on.
Start thinking about who else is out there. Luckily, I got a couple names. But we're at the late part of things here, guys. I don't expect dominators or young players that have high ceilings. We're talking about old players or cheap players. So brace yourselves, guys. This is what it's come down to. The last guy I want to before I get into the free agent stuff and finish up tonight, I wanted to get into the unfortunate situation of Tyron Smith, who's now not a Cowboy anymore. You see in our thumbnail, he's unfortunately a New York fucking Jet. He jetted to New York or Jersey, I guess you can say. So here's the deal for him. We've all been waiting for the deal. Like what were the Cowboys not going to pay for this guy? Right? We're talking about maybe close to $17-20 million, something like that. We know it was going to be in that range, up to $20 million in incentives. But the initial indications of this Tyron Smith deal, listen to this. Mm-hmm. $6.5 million is guaranteed. That's it. $6.5 million guaranteed. Another $13.5 million is earned based on playing time with other incentives. And you know what's funny? The Jets were surprised when he took this offer. They were surprised that he took this. Because most of his deal is based on him staying healthy. $6.5 million he gets, the $13.5 he has to earn by being healthy. So they were surprised that he said they'll take this offer. Who knows if the Jets are going to practice him full time? I don't know. But basically, you know what set up this deal?
What?
The Cowboys. You know why? Because last year he played for $6 million for the Cowboys. And because the Jets saw that $6 million, said we'll bump that $6 million that he played on the Cowboys guaranteed for.
We'll bump that base salary.
Yeah, to $6.5 million. Take that cap hit and then incentivize a bigger contract for him, up to $13.5 million on top of that, based on playing time. So you got to remember the release of left tackles Andre Dillard and DJ Humphries out in the world. Because again, guys, and I'm actually these two names I'm talking about are possible replacements for Tyron Smith for us.
Okay.
But Andre Dillard and DJ Humphries were released from their respective teams. So Tyron Smith said, he felt he had to pounce on this almost $20 million, or it's a total of 6.5 and 13.5. It's $20 million at max. He said, I'm going to bet on myself. I gotta get to be able to, when I play, I earn. And that's what it comes down to. He gets 6.5, and the other 13.5 is all on playing time. So this playtime incentives for him means that he has to start at I think it's his incentives start at 38% of the time he has to play. Okay. So at least a portion of his incentives. That's the other part of this. So how much they have to play? Well, if he plays 38%, he gets a portion of these incentives. Point about that is he's done that almost every year. All right? He's never really missed a full year. Once he did that.
Exactly. He usually plays at least a handful of games. So that 38%,
he plays over
base he's probably gonna meet.
He plays over 50% of the games easy every single year. So 38%, he's gonna have half his, he's gonna probably hit $12-13 million of the incentive. It's those other, the other 5 or 6 games he misses might cut off $4 or $5 million. Either way,
the point is that he is probably guaranteeing himself, like you said, at least triple-digit salary this upcoming year, based on that play incentives, because it'll probably take him into double. I meant double.
That's
double
a big
digits
difference.
As in 10.
You're talking about 10 million and 100 million. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Tyron Smith's a very expensive guy.
Yeah.
No. Double digits.
So, again, the point is, over 38% of the season he plays, he gets a portion of that, of the incentives. He's dealt with injuries his entire career, but he hasn't played a full season since 2015. He missed a whole year, 2022? 21? I think he missed a full season. Or 2021 maybe, and he hasn't played. He dealt with injuries. He hasn't played a full season since 2015. But his 13 games he played with the Cowboys last year were the most since 2019. So keep that in mind too. So again, he is, and that was the year, by the way, that we were almost going to trade him to the Jets. I think with Jason Garrett at the helm. So again, hasn't played.
Maybe where do you think that that's also partially where that connection came from? Because were the Jets the only team that were interested in him?
No, there were other teams. We know the Chiefs were and other teams were, but the Jets were really interested trading for him 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago. So it didn't. They got him now.
Maybe they were maybe the most willing to throw bucket loads of money at him.
Maybe, yeah.
Even in an incentive-laden contract.
Yeah, again, 38% over that. He gets a huge chunk of that incentive. He's probably going to get about $13 million if he plays half the season this year for the Jets. My point is, the Joneses were not going to pay, I guess they didn't have it in their heads to like, we're going to play with the injury situation with him this year. Because to me, I would have been fine. I'm being honest, baby.
Okay.
I would have been fine with giving him a deal like this. Because if he plays every single week, if he plays all 17 games, the guy is he's worth $17 to $20 million. If he's playing, 11, 12, 13 games, he's worth $13 million. That's my point. That's what this deal is going to come down to.
I know.
And the Cowboys said, fuck that. We don't need a guy's playing for $1 million a game.
The Cowboys are looking
asses.
at it as we have another guy we have to pay $20 million to, and then another $20 million, and then $20 million, and then 20. They are
That's the excuses.
basically saying that Tyron Smith's days of getting paid like the big name guy that he still continues to play as, but it is no longer the same. Right? They're like, no, we got to pay the likes of CD and Micah and Dak.
Well, and again, these are the built-in excuses from the clown show. I'll talk about it a little bit more because there's other guys out there we can still get. But I'm just going to say it like this. I don't know how much of a savings are the Cowboys going to get. We shall see. If the Cowboys get one of the couple of offensive tackles that I have on my list, it's going to cost what, $3-4 million less than what this is going to. It would have cost us $13 million with $14 million with Tyron Smith with a couple injured weeks, and another guy's going to probably be injured too. With the guys I had on my list, going to have probably a couple injured weeks, missed weeks, and they're going to be about $11 million or $9 million. I mean, are the Cowboys even going to go that route? They got to go way lower on these guys, and I don't think most of these guys are going to be gone for $3-4 million. I'll be shocked. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But I don't know. I want to hear everyone's comments on this Tyron Smith deal from the Jets. Any thoughts on that specific situation?
Yeah, no, Fuego said BS. The $20 million depends on how many games he plays. He gets hurt. Thus, I say he's playing on maybe more like 7 games out of the year.
Well, no, I mean 7 games. That probably just barely gets him maybe $13 million.
And the problem is,
but he's never. You
kind of said this before.
Yeah.
Can't remember exactly on what it was about, but he kind of said like, "Oh, he kind of gave him the formula." Well, the Cowboys kind of gave Tyron Smith the formula, and the future teams the formula how to keep Tyron Smith active and playing
healthy.
McCarthy just put it all out there. Now it's really hard to hide because obviously when you see Tyron Smith is active and playing more throughout the season, and we obviously tell that we can obviously tell that he wasn't practicing at the same level. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together in the sense of, like, it's not like McCarthy could have hidden that information. So, obviously, I imagine that the Jets will manage his practice load and his workload in a similar way and probably expect similar results. That's another reason why I think Tyron Smith expects, to kind of bet on himself in this way.
And that's why I say who knows, because we don't know what the Jets' expectation is of how they're going to practice him. So that's something that we have to find out. But I was trying to say earlier, if they practice him all the time, he might only play 7 games and barely get the 38%. But I do also want to say 7 games is very little for Tyron Smith, even when he's injured a lot. The only time he missed once he missed almost that whole season with that torn hamstring ripped off his bone, right? He came back at the end of the year. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then like 4 years ago, we lost L. Collins. He played 2 games and was out for the rest of the year, Tyron Smith. We lost him for the rest of the year. That's the only times that man has missed more than like his usual 5 or 6 games. So I believe he'll probably miss, 5, 6, 7 games at most of the Jets. If they manage him properly, he'll miss less games. And if they do that, he'll get closer to that $20 million. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is that I think, let's say he does play only 7 games. Does that not put him close to that 30-something%? He might be off by like 1 game, but the point is that he will probably, at least reach that $10 to $12 million range contractually.
Yeah, or $10 to $13 million for the 38% or more, which I think he'll get that. That means he'll probably play 8 to 10 games, which is about what I'd say not even 8. It's like 8 games, right? About 8 games. He'll be fine. I think he'll hit at least 12 or 13 million of his contract.
Agreed. So Stephen White said, "We're paying him $6 million this year already. Add this to that. That's the cost for him to us."
As far as dead money?
I think that's what he's trying to say, yeah.
So, I mean, again,
That's
that...
$6 million in dead money.
Right. So, I mean, imagine if we had kept them. Right? Kept them and contract... And had a contract that would, suck up that money as much as possible, right? On the cap. Cowboys said, nah, we're good. We'll take the hit and you can play for them. You can play over there for them.
It's easy for the Jets to make this move because they don't have that, extra money that they have to pay the same way we do.
Well, I think it's the fact that they're still paying a full contract to him, but he's willing to. You gotta remember, it's different though, baby. It's not that he's getting the money in his hand. You gotta remember that this is just dead cap money. This money was paid to him already. This is money that we gave on a bonus that we rolled over into this. So he's not getting any money in this way. This is just dead cap money. Tyron Smith's getting a whole new deal from the Jets. There's nothing to do with. I just want to make sure there's nothing to do. The dead money, the $6 million is just we're paying Zeke $6 million, and he ain't playing with anybody right now. We're paying him still. Same thing as with Tyron Smith. But I say paying him. We're not paying him. We're paying on him, on the cap. We're paying Zeke $6 million. We're paying Tyron Smith $6 million. They're not getting this money, but the cap is still speaking for that, unfortunately.
Gotcha. So, Dustin Roberts said, I think certain plays were held out because of the fear of pulling him into the run game due to him possibly getting
I agree with that. That could be another reason why the Cowboys are done with him. They want to get somebody who can maybe do a better run scheme fit with.
That's a good point. So, but again, we're still leaving our left side pretty vulnerable. So, obviously, we'll have to see what the Cowboys decide to do as far as moving forward for that.
Yeah.
So,
again, I don't know if there's any more, but I'm ready to continue.
Let's keep it rolling.
Because today the Cowboys made a couple moves. Well, one move lost, one move made with the coaching staff. So, the big deal today, guys, that the Cowboys, I guess you could say the deal they made, was with the coaching staff. And today, the Cowboys defensive backs coach, cornerback coach to be specific, Al Harris, is going to be promoted, guys. So congratulations to Al Harris. Now, the first thought I had was he's going to become the defensive pass game coordinator. We don't have that yet. That would have been Joe Witt Jr.'s, coaching role there with us. He's gone to the Commanders. But it's interesting, guys. It sounds like there's a Mike McCarthy move, and Mike McCarthy is making him the assistant head coach. That's his official title. That's what they're adding. He's a defensive backs coach and assistant head coach.
I mean, good for him.
That's a fantastic title addition. He's going to work closely as well with Mike McCarthy, getting him ready to, take that next major step.
Yeah, and
in
it
his coaching
sounds like
career.
they found better usage for him and his skills specifically, right? Like, not saying he couldn't help with the pass game or whatever, but now I'm just saying, like, it sounds like he's taking over more and helping with some more coaching duties.
Yeah, remember the big thing with him, the big thing with Al Harris is always a great technique guy. Like, he shows you the technique, how to run, how to go through everything and step by step. But he doesn't really give you that overall kind of coaching ability. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he's going to learn doing this. That's my thought process on this. And we know the good and bad of Al Harris, and that's one of the bad is actually where he's going to be getting some help with through the assistant head coach title. But that also helps him in a lot of different ways. Either way, it's a great move for Al. The Cowboys are expected to officially finalize our entire coaching staff on Tuesday.
Okay.
The titles, the coaches, all going to be set on Tuesday. So Tuesday night stream, if we do one, I don't know if we will, but definitely by Wednesday, we will get you all of the info and updates on all the coaching signings, all the coaching titles, and the coaching duties that we know. So that's one move today. The other move has to do with our defense and one of our own guys that are unrestricted free agents, and that is who? Brace yourselves, guys. The guy that we ended up using for a trade was Kelvin Joseph to the Dolphins, and we got Noah Ibn-Hagani. I can't say his name, and luckily I won't have to say it anymore because he is gone. Following Dan Quinn to the Washington what the fuckers. Yeah, so guys, a fourth Cowboy is following Dan Quinn to Washington, and a third defensive Cowboy to Washington with Dan Quinn to coach. So,
do you remember how that one Niners player, I can't remember who it was, they had that stupid F Dallas shirt supposedly on underneath all their stuff.
Yeah, Kittle.
Kittle, was it Kittle? Okay,
Yep.
so no, I couldn't remember who it was. So the point is that all the Commander players are all gonna have Dallas Cowboy shirts, just regular ones, underneath their uniforms.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, fuck Dallas, but you know what? Fuck Washington. We beat their ass every day.
I heart Dallas.
Exactly. We thank you, Dallas. Is what they should say. Either way, Noah Igbenogany now a depth signing. We know he's a cornerback, but he's special teams. He barely even played. He was barely active all year for us, guys. He was active for like 4 games. The first week he was active for us. And he scored the first touchdown in 2023 for the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Noah Igbenogany. It was a blocked field goal attempt by the Giants on their first drive of that game. We blocked it. I think it was TJ Goodwin or someone blocked it. And Noah took it all the way for a TD on the return, and then it opened the floodgates from there. We blew him out. But we basically saw him score that first touchdown of the season. Never heard his name ever again because he was inactive pretty much the rest of the season. Barely played special teams. That's what he mainly practiced with the Cowboys. So he's basically a special team signing for Dan Quinn. Maybe a little 4th, 5th string, 6th string cornerback kind of deal. I don't know. Good luck with him. He wasn't going to be used for the Cowboys at all. So again, scoring the first touchdown. Never heard his name the rest of the season. And yes, he's the 4th player now going to the Washington Commanders following Dan Quinn to D.C. Biotish at center. Course, but then the defensive players, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, and now Noah Igbenogany, all gone to Washington. As you can see, there's our list. Eric Kendricks, still the only addition outside of the Cowboys. The returnees for the Cowboys, Carl Davis, a practice squad, 4th string defensive tackle. A nose tackle, I should say. 8th string defensive tackle. Trent Sieg, our long snapper, whoop-de-doo. That's great, but we could have done that next month. CJ Goodwin, cornerback, we could have done that next month. And Jordan Lewis, which was desperate to get a deal. We gave him a veteran benefit deal. We're saving $2 million in the cap by signing Jordan Lewis, who right now is our starting slot corner, nickel corner. I hope he ends up being our backup slot corner with DeRon Bland starting. And if anybody goes down, DeRon Bland goes to the outside and Jordan Lewis steps up like we did this year when Diggs went down. So, again, that important. I would say, of course, special teams guys like CJ Goodwin and Trent Sieg, very important for special teams. Carl Davis is irrelevant. And Jordan Lewis, a good signing for the Cowboys. A great signing is Eric Kendricks, fitting this scheme under what's the new coach? Zimmer. Mike Zimmer. So, and then we lost a shitload of players. Tony Pollard, Dorrance Armstrong, Biotish, Fowler, Gallimore. Michael Gallup is a free agent. Leighton Vander Esch is about to retire. Tyron Smith to the Jets, and Noah went to Washington. That is the way the Cowboys fucking 2024 free agency looks like. Not very good. Yeah, not very good. I look back and try to see what are the other guys left on this list. Chuma Adoga, one of our unrestricted free agents. He ain't coming back to Dallas. Rico Dowdle, running back, maybe.
There's a chance.
Sean McEwen at tight end. I mean, he could, I guess, as our 5th tight end fighting.
Remember, you guys
he can fight out a spot for it.
I know, but you guys are the ones that pointed out that tight
John
end
Stevens.
that we had last year. Yep, John Stevens.
Yeah, but
he should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, good to go.
But remember, he is injured, coming off the injury. And also, I say this. I mean, this guy. Listen, if you sign Sean McEwen, he's not going to even hit your salary cap. So I think he'll be back and just try to fight for a spot there. Especially when you have 90 men on your squad, you're gonna have to fill in a couple extra tight ends. I think McEwen will come back, but on the cheapest of cheapened deals, and you're not going to see him even hit the cap. I guess they could do that with Chuma Adoga too if they wanted to. Rico Dowdle, they might have to pay him a little more, which means he probably won't come back unless he goes for a cheap deal too. Those are the only 3 guys left on offense. On defense, Stephon Gilmore. And that's a guy we got to watch there. Jonathan Hankins might be going to Seattle. Got to keep an eye on him there. J-Ron Curse, he's not coming back. We're not using as many safeties as we did, and we still have like 5 good ones. So we're good at safety. I think that Gallimore went to the Dolphins. Noah just left today.
I was just about to say something kind of funny.
So really,
all the guys that are still technically available as of this moment, that are still on this list, the number one thing pointing to them possibly being Cowboys again is the fact that they're still available. And they're still on this list. You get my point?
There's 6
the
guys.
Cowboys are the type that will wait until, we're picking up the
scraps.
So we have to wait until the market gets to that point, and we haven't quite gotten there. It's kind of like the draft, right? Like, we haven't hit that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. My goodness, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. No,
a rough week, but anyway, go ahead.
So there's 3 offensive players and there's 3 defensive players that we still have unsigned from our Cowboy team. Chuma Edoga on offense, Rico Dowdle, and Sean McEwen. Scrubs no one cares about. On defense, it's different, though. J-Ron Kerr's probably gone. He might be going to Washington, watch. But then you got Jonathan Hankins, who I'm going to put an asterisk in our heads and say Seattle looks like they're going to sign him, and Stephon Gilmore, who there's no word on who wants him yet. Obviously, those are the most important left. There's 6 guys left, and really 2 of them are important. Stephon Gilmore and Jonathan Hankins. If Hankins is gone too, then we got one guy we got to focus on of our own that we should bring back. If there's no other options, that's Stephon Gilmore. And outside of that, yes, Rico Dowdle and Sean McEwen or Chuma Edoga, they might slide in the team as not even hit the salary cap. But I'm talking about guys that actually will hit the salary cap. Gilmore and Jonathan Hankins are probably the only 2 that we would probably all agree upon and say, okay, I wouldn't mind bringing them back. What's the Cowboys salary cap situation, though? Because you know what the front office likes to do, right?
Yes.
The clown show. They like to say, we don't get the cap. It's the cap. We got a salary cap going on. Shut the fuck up. They choose to not have any salary cap open. Here's the thing, guys. Let me explain something to you. Facts here. Sport Track put out the updated from today, updated top 51 cap space. Do you know what that means? Top 51? We've talked about this in the past.
I don't actually remember.
Top 51 means that the 51 guys, you can have 90 guys on your team, but only the top 51 count towards or against the cap.
Oh, that's right.
And if you're the 52nd guy, it doesn't matter if you're getting $2 million. If you're the 52nd guy, that $2 million don't count against the cap. I'm just telling you the way the business works in the NFL. So this is the Sport Track. They are good at keeping up on all the cap money and all that stuff and deals. The updated top 50, only top 51 players on each team, and the cap space they're taking up. Number 1, Washington still has $63 million available.
Damn.
Washington Commanders. New England, $58 million available. Tennessee, $55 million. 4th on this list, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fuck.
With $39 million. They still got $39 million available on their fucking cap space for this year.
That stinks.
And the Bears, even with all those moves, I mean, they got some guys in. They got Justin Fields out. $31.7 million. That's the top 5 spots with cap space off their 51 players right now. And that can change. Look, you can sign a big-name guy right now. That's obviously going to be one of your 51 players. If you sign a low-level guy, you're not going to alter this at all, this list. So you see these guys. My thing is this: the Eagles, they were so much over the cap, but they went all in. They went all in, like the way that we were talking about. They said, you know what? We went all the money forward, cutting a couple of these guys, taking some dead cap hits, and we're signing people that are going to help our team, or at least we think they are. That's Howie Roseman. That's how he does it. Much better than these 2 schmucks. So this is what teams are showing now if they have cap available. What are the bottom teams that have the least cap available? All these teams, these are the last 7 teams, are under $10 million on cap available.
Okay.
The Browns, $8.2 million. The Bucks, $8 million. The Jets, only $7.9 million. The Dolphins only have $5 million left on their cap for this year so far on their top 51 players. The Falcons, $4.3 million. And last in the NFL, yes, you know what I'm saying, last in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys have the least cap space available than any other team in the NFL at $4 million official dollars open.
Wonderful.
Now, guys, oh my God, they were right. They don't have any pie. Wah. Guys, please understand, it's not about Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb or Micah Parsons. The Cowboys are last in salary cap space. Why? Because these 2 motherfuckers on your screen chose to. They chose to be the team with the least amount of space available. It's not that they are. They chose to be. Don't let anybody else tell you, oh, well, it's Dak Prescott's fault. Smack them across the face. They're idiots. It's not. It's these two motherfuckers on your screen. If they don't say Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones, smack them. Don't matter what anything else, smack them. Don't matter. Because of these two fuckfaces, could have restructured. This is not an extension for Dak. You could have restructured Dak and got $25 million more. So we would be at almost $30 million now. We'd be at $29 million. Now everyone's saying, whoa, now we're the 6th or 7th team with the most cap space. All of a sudden, with one move of a restructure. Not a fucking extension. You're not paying Dak. A restructuring of Dak. That's all they had to do. They didn't do it. So we have $4 million. And look, we have no pie left. That's why they don't sign guys. That's the way the Cowboys play games. That's why Tyron Smith said, fuck you two old faggots. I'm out of here to the Jets. Yeah, that's why he said it. I know we're not after dark, but I feel like it's an after dark right now. So, hey, listen, the point here is these two old fucking assholes decided to say, you know what, let's show everybody, all these free agents that want money, let's just show them we got $4 million. That'll shut them all up. They won't even come looking for us. And that's what happened. Because the Cowboys ain't calling anybody until Eric Kendricks, because they got scared. They fucked up. But they ain't calling any running backs. They're waiting for calls to come into them. And they know no one's going to call them when you got $2 or $4 million left on your cap space. So if the Cowboys really were serious, they could have restructured Dak. They could have restructured Trayvon Diggs. Could have restructured Terrence Steele. They could have also extended Micah Parsons, extended CeeDee Lamb. If you had done these moves, we have $60 million available. Shit, we'd be second or third right there behind Washington and New England. But these old fucks don't want to show that. Nope. They want to show $4 million and say to every free agent, go fuck yourself. Play for under $4 million or go fuck yourself. And that's what they're doing. So when you hear all in on our own players, we ain't even doing that. You say all in, all right, they're lying. All right, now it's all in on our players, they're lying. Because if they were all in on our players, they would have fucking paid them. They would have already made these moves last year. Or this year. Not sit there for 3 weeks and just say we're on vacation. That's what these old motherfuckers did. That's how they're fucking us. And I'm telling you, make sure you put the blame on this, not just Jerry, but Stephen Jones is the main issue here. Stephen Jones, he graduated high school, right? He graduated from a Catholic high school for boys. Mm-hmm. Of course, private school. Jerry Jones, rich, billionaire, all that stuff, trillionaire. And then he, of course, graduated from his dad's alma mater, University of Arkansas. You know what he graduated with? You remember? It's a degree in chemical engineering.
That's right.
In 1988 from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Chemical engineer is running our salary cap. And then his fucking frat buddy, which we talked about it, I said it was Paprika, but it's Profiska, Adam Profiska. This guy enters his 21st year with the Cowboys as Stephen Jones' buddy and helper of contracts. He has a role with the Cowboys, all right, in the player personnel department with Stephen Jones. And his role is the director of salary cap and player contracts, Adam Profiska. Profiska assists COO and Executive Vice President of Personnel, Stephen Jones, and Todd Williams, which is the Vice President of Operations for the Cowboys, in managing the club's salary cap. He helps negotiate player contracts and monitors league transactions. So that's what you're seeing with Stephen Jones and his right-hand man. Now, what's his qualifications for this Adam Profiska? Because we can doing shit right here in Dallas when it comes to some of these moves. Prior to working with the Cowboys, this Adam Profiska guy, Stephen Jones' frat boy and buddy, was a coaching assistant and equipment manager at the University of Arkansas, where they graduated from, in 1999 through 2002. Now, just think about that. 21 years with the Cowboys. Before that, he was a motherfucking coaching assistant, which meant he was an equipment manager. And now he's doing the fucking Dallas Cowboy, making deals and managing the salary cap. You wonder why we're having so many issues. These motherfuckers are letting this motherfucker fuck it all up. So, again, he also served as a mechanical engineer intern at DuPont from 1998 to 99, and a Cromwell architect engineer. He worked for Cromwell Architects and Engineers in 1998 for half a year, basically. Profiska earned his degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville. So we have a chemical engineer in Stephen Jones and a mechanical engineer in Adam Profiska. These are the two guys that work on our fucking salary caps. He resides in Carrollton, Texas with his wife, his son, Cash. It's funny. He's got a son named Cash. Anyways, that's the situation there with our front office and the money managing foolishness, which is Stephen Jones and his, I don't know, his partner?
Again, just
partner in crime?
Like you said, just another great example of the way that our front office decides to handle, contractual obligations.
Such important
and,
things.
Monetary situations.
Fuck them. Now, any comments on this before we get to the end, which is now we're going to just go through some names of guys for this week that I want you all to keep watching for us here. And we'll be talking about them when they go off the board. Or maybe the Cowboys sign one or two of them. We don't know. Baby,
Dustin Roberts said, I guarantee that a lot of these free agent deals are not going to work out. So, Matt Batten also said, Jones can free up $40 million easily with Dak, CeeDee Lamb deals, but they don't want to.
Right.
Jay Duncan said, it looks like Dak is going to walk and be somewhere else in 25.
Nah, don't buy that yet. If it is, it is. We're just going to take a $60 million hit this year, though. That's what it's at now. At least you can, even if you can let him walk, you got to restructure this deal so we can make some move. No restructuring. They don't want to do anything. I know restructuring means you got to pay a little more voided year deals and some more dead cap, but at least you have a chance this year. I mean, this year it's almost you're giving it away. You're giving up this year. Shit. Why even bother what we're doing now then? I mean, why even get not even our hopes high, just why even bother? Because if this is going to be a year where it's going to, we're going to basically go into the trash can and grab a rookie quarterback and hope they save the day. While Dak, I went through a list of quarterbacks. The last, like in 2021 and 22, I think Brock Purdy's the best quarterback, and he's basically an undrafted. So quarterbacks, getting another quarterback, it's going to be very impossible, very difficult to get someone as good or better than Dak. So it would be a big mistake in my mind. I understand the money situation. That's the Joneses' fault. They trapped themselves in that money situation. But that's where they put us. Now they got to sleep in that bed. And either sleeping in it means we're going to have some real bad years because, not Dak, because the Joneses managed shit poorly. Or, we're going to have to pay Dak money that maybe it's not quote unquote worth the money, but he is a franchise quarterback, a top 7 guy in the NFL. They don't grow on trees, and you just can't draft the guy and say he's better than Dak. That's stupid. That's idiotic. That's foolish. So, yeah, you got to pay him money, and he's going to be a top 7 quarterback in the league. Some people don't like that. They want better. You just can't, you just can't ask for a guy better just because you want it. You can't expect that you're going to draft anybody is going to be better. You could have drafted Paxton Lynch. And now he played a year? I'm just
Crazy
saying,
to think how close we are.
Let's not be silly.
Falling victim to Jerry's desires and whims. Yeah. Heck, even Stevens. So, let me go ahead and, like I said, hit up the chat here. Rolando Rodriguez said, MCF, bring back Zeke for that veteran pay. Jerry and Zeke can make more money in that Zeke jersey. He wearing number 15.
Yeah, you get some more money from the fans that way,
right? Yeah,
right?
that's the point. Yeah, you make more money because everybody's going to want to buy their
New Jersey number. Look, Zeke is like, to me, the actual, literal, last-ditch choice at running back. He's not even one of the guys I'm talking about today. If the Cowboys need a pass protector and short yardage guy, I'm down with Zeke for a veteran minimum. I am. But there's other guys that are better that you might pay an extra, $100,000 to. So we'll talk about them in a minute. I'll get to my list here.
Yeah. So Dustin Roberts said, this is going to be an exciting training camp in preseason.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
So Seabass said, Jerry waited now. His balls are in Dak's hands. Yep.
And he allowed that to happen. He allowed it not because he gave Dak the money. He allowed it to happen because he gave that the money too late. If he had given Dak the money earlier, we'd have had Dak for $30 million, and we could have decided on his deal a long time ago. He would have been at 40. We'd probably maybe playing at $42 million right now.
So
for the next 3 years, it's like it's a whole different fucking situation.
Thomas Garris said it's best to bring Zeke back. You're already paying him, so make it make sense.
I guess for $6 million, you're paying him $6 million. Again, you're not paying him, guys. Remember, we're paying the cap.
Yeah.
So we're not paying Zeke, but Zeke goes for the veteran minimum, and I guess you can put in your head that we're paying Zeke like $7 million now, which would bother me a lot. But either way, we actually paying him like we're paying the veteran minimum, which is like 1.2 or something. So look, with everything said and done here, guys, let's go through. I'm going to go through a couple names here, a bunch of names, and you tell me what you think. Because right now, as we're entering the second wave or the third wave, but the second week of free agency, there's still a lot of targets out there. There's still a lot of players that can help the Cowboys. And, players of need for the Cowboys still available out there. So let's go through this, guys, because the legal tampering period passed. On Wednesday, it became the new league year. And several names, of course, flew off that board. A lot of talent left right now. The Cowboys have been quiet in free agency, as we already discussed. Still have time to make some moves that can still improve this roster from last year to this incoming season. So we were one of the quietest ones to kick off and start off free agency, but I think this is when the Cowboys start to make a couple extra moves. This week, I think it comes. In the early days of this year's free agency, the Cowboys, we lost a bunch of players, Pollard, Biotish on offense, Tyron Smith, of course, a bunch of defensive players. So we have a lot of places on this team, offense and defense, that need to be addressed. The only thing we got secured is special teams. We signed that day one. All our special team guys are signed. Aubrey, Anger, they're already here, and then Trent Zieg and CJ Goodwin. Special teams, we're set, but we're just missing offense and defense. So let's break down some of the names I think are floating around. You tell me what you think about these names.
Okay.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH for short. So right now, the highest drafted running back on the Cowboys' current roster is Deuce Vaughn, 6th rounder last year. Yeah, he's hardly ready.
We could use a little more oomph.
Yeah, he's hardly ready for any kind of full-time role. He might be cut. Only, Malik Davis on the practice squad, Hunter Lipke is our fullback. Those are the only two guys with them on the team. And I think Snoop Connor. And guys, practice squad. He's not going to be a starter. He's not going to make this fucking roster. So that's our running back core. Trash. The trashiest, the worst of all in the NFL. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a former first-round pick of the Chiefs. He was their lead running back in 2020 and 2021. Then his usage dropped. He was doing all right. Mm-hmm. Then his usage dropped when they turned to Isaiah Pacheco, a faster, quicker running back. Right, his style gives the Chiefs more balance and more physicality to pair for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' air attack specifically. Hilaire isn't a guy who's going to be worked in the passing game, but I was going to say, Pacheco is a guy they use in the passing game a little bit more often. It just
kind of sounds like their offense evolved past him. Not necessarily that he's a bad player, just that, like you said, he just doesn't fit the offense the same way that he used to because the offense has changed.
So after all that, guys, he was too much of a ground game kind of guy, not as much, air raid attack, which you get from Mahomes and Andy Reid. So this is something the Cowboys may need, which is the opposite of that from our running back. Now, here's some things, guys, because the Cowboys are looking for him more in the ground game, which is what they did in 2020 and 2021 with the Chiefs with Hilaire. So Edwards-Helaire, remember this, guys, he's only 25 years old when the season begins. And he only has 441 career carries. He's averaging 4.2 yards per carry for attempt, and he still has 89 receptions. So, to me, he's still, a versatile type of back. That's not going to be Isaiah Pacheco kind of role there, right? But he's a bigger back, kind of gives you some passing, some passability, some receiving ability. And maybe you'll see the best of what we saw from Tony Pollard kind of come out in a Clyde Edwards-Helaire type running back. All right? If the Cowboys' offensive line is a big if, can get a little better, which I don't know how, then the Cowboys might have a little more push up front. And we could look maybe, that's why I keep saying, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you bring him in. What if you bring back Rico Dowdle as well and you draft someone? Now we're much better suited at the running back position to do many things. So, again, you can also not even draft someone if you get someone like Hilaire and Rico Dowdle. I try to make that point. Mm-hmm. I would still draft, but you don't have to. You still got Malik Davis. I like Malik Davis as our fourth. I'm good with that, right? As a third or fourth. So that is kind of what I see with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CHE. He's one of the best running backs still left on the market right now. Obviously, it's going to be under $4 million. That's music to the Joneses' ears. And again, right now, with him on the market, the number of teams looking to pay him anything close to be a first option out of the backfield is extremely thin. So with the Cowboys, he gets to be the first option. There's a lot of pluses for CEH to come to Dallas and a lot of pluses for Dallas to take a risk on a young guy on a cheap contract that can give us a little bit of that Tony Pollard flavor He ain't totally Pollard in the speed, let's say, but he's got more power. He can still catch. He can probably protect better. So, to me, the Cowboys can do that. So, we usually go for the bargain price and a guy who got looking for something, a one-year deal to shoot off of, or a scheme fit that fits them. That combination what the Cowboys look for to me, my number one running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, currently out there available. So you let me know what you think about him. I want to go to another guy I really, really like as well. And that is J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, guys, formerly of the Ravens, that's a guy that I think the only thing that scares me about him is injuries. But he is still available. These names will be gone this week, whether it's to the Cowboys or somewhere else. So J.K. Dobbins, the Cowboys need a running back. After leaving with Pollard, leaving Zeke over the last 2 years, J.K. Dobbins gives the Cowboys a starting caliber running back that comes at a significant discount. Again, music to Stephen Jones's ears. Because of injury history. Again, music to their ears. Dobbins suffered a season-ending injury. 3 of them. He suffered season-ending injuries for the last 3 seasons. That's why I don't trust J.K. Now, he's good. When he's ready to go, he's better than what the Cowboys would pay him. But the thing is, when is he going to be gone? That's the problem. That's when he gets hurt, right? So he's got talent. There's no denying that. He averaged over 6 yards per carry in his rookie season. And right now, he's only the same age as Clyde Edwards-Helaire, young, only 25 years old. So both these guys don't have a lot of mileage. Edwards-Helaire is the better reliable back. I think Dobbins is the better overall back, but injury prone. So that kills it for me. Go back to 2015. The Cowboys allowed starting running back DeMarco Murray to leave in free agency, replaced them with a talented but often injured older Darren McFadden. He was actually good for us that year. He went on to lead the team in rushing. Now, Dobbins could be an example of that kind of player, giving the right player and the right opportunity and on a budget that protects the Cowboys from a risky investment. That would be a J.K. Dobbins move. So, again, assuming Dobbins is relatively inexpensive, which it would be under $4 million, it permits the Cowboys to spend reasonable draft capital on a running back on day 2 of the draft with a J.K. Dobbins, or even bring back Rico Dowdle as well. So, this, again, I don't know how you feel about this, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, I like both these guys a lot. A lot of running backs have already signed with new teams, but J.K. Dobbins is a potential option for the Cowboys. Formerly of the Ravens, played well in his career. He had 234 carries, 1,347 yards, and 12 touchdowns, 5.8 yards per average in his career right now. His career began with a strong rookie season. He ran for 805 yards and 9 touchdowns, caught 18 passes, 120 yards in 15 games. After that rookie year, downhill, unfortunately, mainly because of injuries. Specifically, the last 2 years ended because of premature injuries that were season-ending. I think the one from 3 years ago was at the end of the year, so he already had played the year out there. But basically, in the last 2 years, he's only got 100 carries, 542 yards, and only scored 3 touchdowns because he's been injured, not because he sucks. So his skill set is very attractive to a lot of NFL teams that hope to get the most out of him in a new situation. So for the Cowboys, he's a low-cost option at running back for the Cowboys. So right now, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, you guys, I want to know what you guys think after I get through my last running back, which is D'Onta Foreman. D'Onta Foreman, guys, the Cowboys, didn't have a power running back last year. But now with Pollard not coming back to Dallas, obviously, we need a running back. Even more so, we don't have either running back. So, we passed on a lot of high-end guys in free agency so far, Derrick Henry and others. So now we're looking at D'Onta Foreman, and he's available. He's an available free agent, and I believe he is another intriguing pickup for the Cowboys. I would not mind D'Onta Foreman. Foreman is entering his 7th year in the league. He played for the Bears last year, did pretty damn good. Now, look, it wasn't impressive, but it was decent. Carried the ball 109 times, 425 rushing yards, and 4 touchdowns. He only averaged 4 yards per carry, but they had a shitty offensive line, shitty running game. He had a very impactful season the year before that. D'Onta Foreman with the Panthers in 2022 carried the ball 203 times for almost 1,000 yards, for 914 yards, and he only started 9 games. So it seems like it was more of a Bears misusage than it was D'Onta Foreman, just not a good player, anymore in Chicago. So he ran in that 2 years ago. He ran for 5 touchdowns, averaged over 4.5 yards per carry for the Panthers. So that is where you want to see D'Onta Foreman getting used the right way, in the right scheme. Right now, Foreman currently is not the running back for the future for the Cowboys. All right, he's already 27 years old, much older than the other two guys, 2 years older than the other two guys we just mentioned. But it's a cheap and efficient option for the Cowboys for a power back at the running back position, and it'd be good to pair a veteran with a potential draft pick in this draft. Again, in every single move I'm saying here, we either bring back Rico Dowdle or we bring back Rico Dowdle and forget Rico Dowdle, or we just, we either bring back Rico and get a draft, and draft a running back, or forget about Rico, and you draft the running back. Either way, you're going to draft the running back in every scenario here. So, what do you think, baby, with these 3 guys, these 3 names? What are your thoughts when it comes to
out of all of them,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, and D'Onta Foreman?
I have to admit, out of all of those guys,
all about the same price.
Edwards-Helaire is the one that sticks out to me the most, just because for some reason it feels like he would have not so much the most to prove, but the most to add from a kind of starter / perspective.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And
I also remember,
and a little bit of most to prove, coming from KC, and coming to
has a bunch
Dallas.
of Super Bowl rings.
I'm just saying, I think that it would be nice for him to bring some of that kind of previous Super Bowl energy onto this team as well, just from a personal and a professional perspective. So,
well, again, I personally also like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's kind of like my favorite here. J.K. Dobbins is my least favorite because of the injuries. But I do also got to say,
especially considering that the one running back that the Cowboys seem to really like in the draft is that guy that is hurt that they're trying to get at a decent
Robert
deal.
Johnson, right? What's his name? Is that his name?
Is that his name? David?
No, I think Robert. I don't know. Jonathan. I don't know. Anyways, you guys know it. It's from Texas. He's
there we go.
Jonathan Brooks.
Yep.
He's banged up and had a torn
Seabass.
ACL there, and last year. So that's an issue for me too. But when you look at these guys, to me, I'm with you with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH. The least guy I like here would be J.K. Dobbins. Even though I liked him in the past, so many injuries, I just can't trust him. But I will say, I'm not against D'Onta Foreman for doing the role that we need of blocking and running hard between the, inside the numbers, inside the tackles. I think that is where Foreman is very good at. I think Helaire could be good as well. So either of those 2 guys, I would say J.K. Dobbins would be my 3rd pick there. Zeke, my 4th pick, I guess, on this short list of running backs. Any thoughts from the chat on any of these 3 guys?
Mm-hmm. Mike Aldana said, "Flash some of that hardware in the clown show's face."
Yeah, Clyde.
So Dustin Roberts said, "I want Foreman because of on our team, he'll have defenses trying to stop Dak in the passing game, so he'll get light boxes."
Yeah, I mean, he might get light boxes. I don't think we're going to... Look, here's the thing. No matter which running back we get, we're not going to be, being a power run offense. We're going to be passing on first down, passing on second down, a lot of passing. So you want a guy that can also catch the ball. But when you got to run those tough yards, you need somebody who can pound the rock. D'Onta Foreman can do that. That's why I would take him.
Oh.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire can do it pretty good too. Just I don't think as good as Foreman, but Helaire has more versatility, you can say.
Seabass said, "I like Dobbins, and maybe he needs a fresh start. Might have his best year behind a new team."
Listen, if all 3 guys stay healthy, I would take J.K. Dobbins. That's the problem, though. I don't think he stays healthy. He gets hurt, that's it. Now we got to go to Rico Dowdle and a rookie full time. Like I'd rather get D'Onta Foreman, give me those tough yards, and he lasts. I'd rather have CEH and have him give me those tough yards and pass block and last. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want J.K. Dobbins. We could get the most out of him, but he won't last. That's what scares me. It just scares me.
So,
a lot of different thoughts. I like it, though. I like the thoughts.
Rolando Rodriguez much love saying, "Great information and insight, but I disagree. Bring back Zeke for that veteran pay and knows the team. He's best fit and Dak's buddy."
Yeah, again, I'm going to say this. If the Cowboys want to get the most rushing yards, the most production, rolling the dice on J.K. Dobbins is probably the best attempt. Mm-hmm. Zeke is the guy you want if only you're going to use this guy for pass protection and short yardage. If that is your only if he's going to be your number one guy, no. I do not, no way in hell does Zeke come back here. No way. But if he's going to be used as, a third down back, short yardage back, goal line back, he can catch sometimes, he can block. So pass protect, that's where Zeke will become a major player on short yardage and, pass protection, that kind of thing. Zeke would be great. But outside of that, I would take Clyde Edwards-Helaire over him. Younger legs and just has more burst. Same thing with Deontay Foreman when it comes to the inside yards. I'd rather get someone who's a little more, explosive right now. Right now. I know they're both about the same, but Zeke has taken a beating, and we know the beating he's taken because the Joneses allowed it to happen for 6-7 years here against Zeke. So,
let me see. Dustin said, just sign Clyde and Foreman.
The Cowboys will not do that. They won't because the Cowboys will never put that much money into the running back situation, the running back position this year. They already got $6 million in Zeke on the cap. They want to make sure they put 0.0 in that running back if they can help it. Trust me. They're going to draft, and they're going to pick up maybe one of these guys. Maybe just Rico Dowdle they might pick up.
True. Asmodeus, what's up? Much love to you. Let me see. Matt Batten said, I agree. J.K. Dobbins has that injury problem.
That scares me. That scares me.
Dak Delusional said they're drafting a running back.
Oh, yeah. I think it's 3rd round or 5th round at running back. Because we don't have a 4th rounder. I would have said definitely 4th round.
No, all good. We're kind of rolling back. We kind of touched on most of those comments there already. Wide receivers are another spot the Cowboys may be drafting. We heard 3rd round, 4th round, 3rd round, 5th round kind of thing too, right? How about free agent? We don't have Michael Gallup. Who do you want to stick in there as that 3rd guy, or maybe a veteran guy as a 3rd guy instead of Tolbert? Well, I personally think the Cowboys are sticking with Tolbert and a rookie of some sort that we draft. But there's a couple options, and they have some connections. Let's say this first guy has a connection with Mike McCarthy. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's still a free agent. 2018 draft pick of the Packers and Mike McCarthy. McCarthy drafted him. All right. Scantling was a member of this year's Chiefs Super Bowl team. Remember that. And it was supposed to be a down year for the Chiefs receivers. A veteran like Marquez Valdez-Scantling made a lot. You heard him. I mean, they won the game in was it this game here? No, I mean what was that? The play he made. Did he make the play in the Super Bowl, or was it in the conference championship? He made a play the last second and got them into the Super Bowl, or got them a chance to get to win a Super Bowl. But anyway, I forgot where that was, where it happened. But I know that Marcus Valdez-Scantling made a huge play this year for the Chiefs to keep them in the playoffs and get them into the Super Bowl. And that's what he does. He makes timely plays that keeps his team in contention and things. Valdez-Scantling had that's what it was, the game-sealing catch against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. And he, again, big plays when it hits, but he only caught a total of 21 passes last year for 315 yards and only 1 touchdown in the regular season. So any interest that may come from the Cowboys in this point says more about the Cowboys and the price range and the kind of players they're looking for before they would turn their attention to the draft. So, again, at this point, the Cowboys maybe they're thinking, rather than being a receiver like Scantling that moves the needle, they want a receiver that maybe moves the needle a little bit more for Dak Prescott this year. Scantling will provide that than a rookie would. It'd be an upgrade in that sense. So Marcus Valdez-Scantling is a guy that is a possibility, but then he's a price guy, right? But then what about Bengals receiver Tyler Boyd? He's still out there, if I'm not mistaken. That's the opposite of what a Valdez-Scantling is. Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd is one of the best names still available, coming off a career low in yards. The Bengals' pass offense as a whole took a hit when, of course, their quarterback Joe Burrow got injured this year. So when he got injured, Tyler Boyd's numbers kind of stopped. He thrived, though, as the 3rd receiver. Not the 1, not the 2, the 3. The 3rd receiver behind Jamar Chase and behind T. Higgins. And again, if he comes to the Cowboys sign him, he could step into that similar situation with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, the Cowboys. Signing Boyd
would change the narrative for the Cowboys at receiver heading into the draft. Now we would not have to pick a top 100 player or receiver in the draft. So again, you can add Tyler Boyd for a little bit of money, and then you can bring in, and you don't have to bring in an early day 1 or day 2 wide receiver anymore, in my opinion, right? You have Tolbert already. So he's your playmaker. He's your rookie kind of guy, you can say. The problem, of course, is the money. Finding a price tag that works for Boyd. Prior to entering the month, if he's still around in April, the Cowboys will probably make a move for him. But right now, he's not, he's too expensive right now. If they were going to come to Dallas and ask for a deal, it's going to be too much for Stephen Jones. So if in April, if he gets signed somewhere else before April, the Cowboys be focusing on the draft for receiver. But if April comes and he's still out there, the Cowboys may still be trying to get him, bring him in some ways. Tyler Boyd comes in, you can focus somewhere else in the draft. You can focus not in receiver even early. You can just wait to the 6th or 7th round or undrafted to pick up a wide receiver. So, anyways, I don't know. Tyler Boyd's another option. The last option I'm going to bring up here is Michael Thomas, formerly of the Saints, who was just released. Again, number 1 guy in New Orleans, a guy who was a top of his game a couple years ago. I think the top paid guy, right? Since his ACL injury. I'm sorry, not his injury, but Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, when we released him, since his injury, we know Gallup's been shitty, right? And we talked about that already earlier. But this is a replacement to him. Another player that's injury prone, like Michael Thomas. He's probably the most decorated veteran receiver that's still left out there. Earning several NFL honors, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 2019 Offensive Player of the Year. Of course, this history, this background obviously means, hey, will the Cowboys pay more money for these numbers? There's no need to, because this happened years ago, guys. All right, at this stage of free agency and at this stage of, the price range for these guys, there's no way the Cowboys are going to overpay for Michael Thomas. You just can't do that, right? So this is more of a dream than reality when it comes to Mike. He's going to be asking for a lot more than the Cowboys are going to pay. But in addition of him, he would join Brandon Cook, CeeDee Lamb, with Tolbert and Jalen Brooks behind him. This injuries that have plagued Michael Thomas. I think he played 20 games since 2020. So obviously he really can't ask for much money. If he comes asking for money with the Cowboys, it ain't gonna happen. This is more of a 1-year prove it deal if he comes to the Cowboys. But that's, again, I'm gonna say this the same thing as Tyler Boyd. If he does not reach a deal with somebody else in the next couple of weeks, if we get to April, his demands and his options would now bring him lower. The demands would be lower. The payday would be lower. And those things make him closer to the Cowboys' asking price for him and Tyler Boyd. So those two guys are more, hey, Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd, those are more like pipe dreams if it gets to April. Marcus Valdes-Scantling is more of a, right now he's under $4 million. He's a cheap guy you can get right now. If you want to throw someone in there, and you don't have to focus on the draft for a receiver at this point. So I don't know what you think about that. Give me your quick thoughts on that as I go to the next position, which is on offense.
Fuego said get MT on the low on a 1-year contract.
MT. Michael Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
It could happen. Like I said, it could happen. Again, I don't trust in his injury situation, but it's got to be a cheap contract.
Thomas Garrett said, I'll pass on Michael Thomas. This Modi said they're going to draft a receiver, which will render Tyler Boyd null and void.
Well, that's the thing. Those deals have to be made before the draft. The Cowboys get Tyler Boyd, then we wouldn't get a receiver, right? So but again, that'd be a lot of more money the Cowboys want to spend. The only way this happens if we get to April. If we're in March and they still, it's going to be overpay. The Cowboys will not do it.
Matt Batten said, take him. He sounds like a good player and good fit for us.
Which one, Scantling?
I'm guessing Michael Thomas, maybe?
Well, he's a great player, but injury prone. We'll see what happens, guys. I'm not thinking so much on receiver, but on offensive line, I really wish we'd look at that. I know we're going to draft one. So let's start with possibly Tyron Smith's replacement. I mentioned these names earlier for a reason. Left tackle DJ Humphries. The Cowboys, obviously, we're not, Tyron Smith to the Jets. The Cardinals recently released their longtime left tackle, DJ Humphries. Humphries was a first-round pick for the Cardinals in 2015, started with the Cardinals throughout his career. His best season came in 2021. He was selected to the Pro Bowl. Now, Humphries is 30 years old. He's 6'5" and 307 pounds. The problem is he tore his ACL last year against the Eagles on New Year's Eve. So it's not even a New Year's Eve. It was like really basically this year. I mean, 3 months ago he tore his ACL. So he ain't going to be coming back anytime too soon. And he had a salary cap number of $22.9 million. Obviously a fantastic player, but his salary cap hit was too high, got injured. He's probably not going to be ready to go next year.
Yeah.
Similar to a Terrence Steele situation. Think of it like that. So again, that's the reason why he was released from the Cardinals. Despite his injury, though, Humphries claimed earlier this month that his knee is in good shape. He's excited for his future. Of course, he's going to say that. He said, quote, everything was great with the knee. Swelling is way down. I'm moving very good. I'm past 90-degree flexation, and I got my extension back. We're rolling, man. 2 more weeks, and I'll be off these damn crutches. I'm so excited. Of course, he's selling himself. I'm still worried about his injury issues, but he's a very good, solid left tackle. But it's like Tyron Smith. Could possibly be Tyron Smith Part 2 and Terrence Steele Part 2. That's a combination that we don't want when it comes to coming off an injury and it comes to being injury prone. So that's a name we can think about.
Thomas Garrett said it. He's injury prone. Y'all are chasing sexy names.
And I'm not even chasing. I'm just throwing out some names that are still available.
He didn't say y'all isn't
like
specific. Just y'all is in the general.
Yeah, I get you.
Everyone, collective.
Now another name. I mean, any other names other than these guys are going to be backups. You understand what I'm saying here, guys? If I'm giving you a name that's a backup, then why even mention it? Being honest, I mean, unless we had Tyron Smith and then we have to get a backup for him, that matters. But the other stuff doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not gonna waste time with you guys on getting a 5th string receiver or a 5th string running back or a 5th string offensive lineman. This is the Cowboys grow some balls and maybe make a move in the second week. In this week, right now, these contracts are going down, baby. Your street in the range. Anyways, this week it's going down. All these fucking contracts are going down. Wherever they were last week, they took a half price hit right now. So we're gonna be able to get some. This is where you get the deals on players, possibly. What about Trent Brown? I know another name. I know another big name, but he had to battle through an injury-riddled 2023 season. Trent Brown is a veteran left tackle option on the market after starting 8 games for the Patriots last year. His last full season was 2018. Sounds a little bit like Tyron Smith there. That was his final stint with the Patriots. As a 2015 7th-round pick, he was there. He also spent time with the Raiders and the Niners since then. This year's free agency, though, has been slow for tackles in general. Not a lot of money, not a lot of tackles getting signed, which makes it hard for any team to jump at the signing of Trent Brown because of his unbelievable injury history. Remember, guys, we're talking about names that the Joneses would pay for. Usually it's because they're old or injured or both, like him. So the thing about him, about Trent Brown, the Cowboys are no stranger to gambling on health at this position, as we know, with Tyron Smith. So, I mean, we can just do the same thing we did with Tyron Smith this past season. Seeing him stay healthy for 13 out of the 17 regular season games. The in-house options at tackle would basically, we have no experience at the left, other than Tyler Smith, who's a guard. We have no experience at tackle right now. And I'm sorry, but Trent Brown brings 93 career starts. So it'd be like a Jason Peters signing kind of deal. Lower pay, even though he's a bigger name, an older guy with injury issues. But he can help with some of the leadership, veteran leadership on the offensive line, and also... And, see if we can manage him like we did with Tyron Smith. That's a way of keeping him healthy. I just don't trust, the Cardinal guy because he recently got injured. But Trent Brown, he's a risk. Could be money worthy, though. Could be worthy to keep him around. So any thoughts on either of these guys in the chat? Humphries or Trent Brown? Or just wait, or just, again, we're going to draft one starter here. It's going to be a center or a tackle. You can't grab both. So you grab a tackle in the draft, that's fine. But we have no center. Brock Hoffman. So you gotta let me know what you guys think on this. What anybody saying about either of these names, Humphries or Brown?
Let me see here. Montana 808 said, I did a mock draft where the Cowboys did a lot of back trades, got 3 solid linebackers with Trey Benson and Breland Allen.
And I saw him post those. I saw those. I would love that to be the truth, the case. I just see it very hard for the Cowboys to be trading anything. They barely trade any of their draft picks anymore. Yep. So I would love to go down and get a handful of more picks.
As Nodi said, if that's the case, they could have kept Ty Smith.
Exactly. But, well, Tyron Smith would have cost $20 million.
Mike Aldana said, if you have a serious medical history, the clown show will roll out the red carpet.
Well, bring you on down. Now, maybe it's not tackle. Maybe tackle is what you draft. Why? Because there's a couple free agent centers that I like. Evan Brown, center. One of the few true centers still available in free agency. He came into the league. He's relatively young in 2019. Hasn't got a real chance to play until 2021 with the Lions. After 2 seasons there, Brown started 16 games with the Seahawks last year. He was the full-time starter for them last year. I remember going up against him. It was one of the weak spots I think we could have attacked when we went up against the Steelers and he had Evan Brown at center. But he actually did pretty good against us. And an offense known for wanting to run the ball between the tackles or get pushed downfield. Evan Brown at center, out of SMU, by the way, a local area, a local college. The Cowboys did their homework on him, especially because he's a local prospect, for the draft. So the Cowboys obviously took a look at Evan Brown. And, they know what his good and bad qualities are. Now, 5 years into the league, been on 3 different teams. Maybe not the best player overall, but can provide some push in the run game at center. Do you go draft a center, or do you get a guy like him who's got starting abilities and it's like a 1 year kind of like like a bridge kind of guy, maybe into another draft, right? I think he is better than, I think someone like Evan Brown might be better than, going for a tackle in the free agency market right now. I'd rather go for a center and maybe draft a tackle than get a left tackle and then draft a center. Unless you're going to move Tyler Smith to the tackle spot, then you got to look for guard center. But Evan Brown is a pure center, and at bare minimum, the Cowboys could bring him in, competition and at the depth behind Brock Hoffman, who should be beaten out. I mean, Evan Brown should beat out Brock Hoffman, but again, he gives you a push. He gives you a push as a run blocker, but he's actually better at pass protection. So if Brown can help keep the front of the pocket clean for Dak, while also serving as maybe a swing backup guard, if Tyler Smith got to go out to left tackle, he can jump out to left guard as well in a pinch, right? So to me, this is a late free agency move by the Cowboys. If he's still around in April, I think he has a chance to go to the Cowboys. Again, all this before the draft. The other center I like is a guy we all know. It's Connor Williams, formerly of the Dolphins. Again, the former Cowboys left guard left the Cowboys not on the best terms. Remember, we tried to make him a center and he kept snapping the ball poorly. He went to the Dolphins, became one of the best centers in the league. I don't know if Mike Soliari can change that now for us and maybe get him back to being the best center, one of the better centers. Best centers in the league. I mean, that's where he was for a little bit, for a year and a half or so. But he has some injury issues, of course, right? He's a free agent still, right? The Cowboys, when they let him go, they wanted to find a more powerful downhill blocker in the run game. That was one of his big issues. The power is one of the issues he was missing, right? And he had a lot of flags against him too. But again, a big uptick when it came to the Dolphins. When he changed his position to center 2 years ago, under Mike McDaniel in the Dolphins offense, he only had 6 holding penalties the entire season. So the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel's scheme worked well for Connor Williams at center. So again, McDaniel, who's one of the faces of the successful West Coast concepts in today's NFL, there is some connective tissues, a connection here to how the Cowboys kind of want to play their offense under McCarthy and that West Coast offense flavor. And that could help Connor Williams kind of maybe come back to Dallas since he has some familiarity with the West Coast offense style from Mike McDaniel over in Miami. So the Cowboys, in my opinion, this will be another interesting pickup if the Cowboys brought someone back that they released. But I think I like the centers better than I do like the tackles in free agency. So again, if the Cowboys need to do whatever happens, I think the best thing is to keep Tyler Smith at guard, at left guard. Zach Martin, of course, at guard as well. So if you got to address the left tackle in the draft, and you still have Austin Richards, Josh Ball, and to me, the best prospect that we have on the team is Matt Waletzko, These are in-house options plus a drafting, maybe a first-round tackle. So that would solidify that by just bringing in a center. Evan Brown, Connor Williams. I would take either one of these guys. And again, whatever we do at left tackle, we can do it in the draft. We have a couple backups we can still have as a tackle spot. We don't have to have too many tackles picked up or anything. But to me, with Zach Martin on the right and Tyler Smith on the left, that duo with him in the middle, with someone like Connor Williams or Evan Brown in the middle, I think there will be, that would be an upgrade to Brock. Definitely been an upgrade to Brock Hoffman at center. Any thoughts on these two guys before we get to the defense?
Let me see here. Hold on, Rodriguez said, great information on the players, but is Jerry and Catboy Steven going to extend Dak's contract? So,
Well, again,
we'll have to see there. So
they said yes, so we'll have to wait. Extending it is one thing, but hitting the restructure button is something they should have done already. That's up to the Joneses, not Dak.
Fuego said our old and our run game are weak. So our
O-line.
offensive
O-line, OL.
I'm guessing O-line maybe. He put OLD. Not sure. Fuego, you might want to retype that one because I'm guessing that was the typo. But our something.
I think you're saying offensive line. I think you're saying
weak as fuck. We definitely need to upgrade that. So I'm guessing you do mean O-line.
I think we're talking about O-line and running back and
offensive line depth. Got it.
And that's why we touched on those two as well as receiver. Now let's flip over to the defense and finish up. A couple quick names. You must have missed me say that, baby. A couple quick names. Defensive tackle. All right, Tier Tart. I know some of you guys had mentioned him already in the past in this chat. I forgot who actually mentioned his name in the chat. But Tier Tart, guys, he is a player that is already visiting with other teams. I forgot which team he's visiting with, but he's visiting with other teams, so I'm not really expecting him to really come to Dallas for anything. But again, he's a true defensive tackle, nose tackle, plays in the middle there, helps stop the run. So the Cowboys could use some help on their interior. Obviously, we could use a lot of help on our defensive interior line. We talked about, maybe Hankins going to Seattle. Tier Tart might be going somewhere else as well, but I have him on my list because he's one of the few guys I still see floating around out there that is, maybe we can get him for a cheaper price than what he's worth. He's above and beyond that. So right now, with Jonathan Hankins, a free agent, maybe going to Seattle, Mozzie losing, we don't know what he's going to do here, right? So right now, Tier Tart, a large framed nose tackle this year. He's 27 years old. He's 6'2". He's 304 pounds. But he basically his impact is made in his career by just clogging up the interior of the defensive line and impacting the opposing running game. He can still do that on a consistent basis in 11 games. For the Tennessee Titans last year, he had 8 tackles, which is okay. We don't need that many tackles from the big man. We just need him to take on the blockers. He had 8 tackles for loss and 4 quarterback hits. Just as a nose tackle doing that, that's a lot. He also ranked second in defensive run stops the year before that, in 2022, according to PFF. So this is a run-stopping master. He's not going to be a pass rusher, but he's going to stop. He's going to take on 2 blockers and help Eric Kendricks stay clean and unblocked. So Tier Tart, Tennessee Titan, he's going to some places still checking them out, not Dallas, but that would be great if the Cowboys could pick him up. I would love it. Cowboys made the defensive tackle position a priority with Mozzie last year. He had little impact. He lost. He was made to lose weight, and he struggled. So that's a fear for me. We need to get someone in front of him to still let him develop and get better because he ain't ready. And if he's our starter, we're fucked. Him and Osa are our starters. We ain't stopping the run next year, ever. And that's why I bring in one other. If Tier Tart is gone, and he very well may be gone Monday or Tuesday, here's an old guy I'm bringing back from the old days. Old school, an old fool. Calais Campbell. Yes, big man Calais Campbell. He's a player no matter where he goes. There's always success following him to that team's defensive line. So again, guys, a lot of years with the Ravens, the Jaguars. Then he was with the Falcons. And all of a sudden, he went to the Falcons last year and he helped turn around their run defense. Calais Campbell is a respected veteran, old guy, brings leadership, experience. We need that. Majorly need that on our defensive line, especially interior. And we also lost some of our defensive line depth this offseason. Again, especially if we don't get back guys like Hankins, right? So Calais Campbell is a versatile defensive tackle. He can really play in several alignments, which is good with Zimmer. He can play defensive end in a 3-4 or a 3-tech defensive tackle. A 3-4, 3-tech in a defensive tackle, I guess you can say. But also can play under center, can play, 1-tech, 2-tech, 0-tech if he needs to, right? He's a massive human being, 6'8", not as heavy, 282 pounds. But again, a 6-time Pro Bowler. He gets last year he still got 6.5 sacks, despite being an old guy. So last year he signed a 1-year contract with the Falcons for $7 million. And you factor in his skills, his leadership, and his impact. I expect a very similar contract, $6-7 million at most, for someone like Calais Campbell who could really clog up the interior, give us a pass rush as well, somewhat of a pass rush as well from the inside, and really create issues for offensive linemen and offensive schemes when you have Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence and guys coming in from all over the place. To me, Calais Campbell will be a huge pickup on a really, I'll say, for his name, for his ability and his experience and his versatility, very cheap price, under $7 million. That's cheap. Now, with the Joneses do it, we know the answer. But I'm still saying, get it done, please. Get it done. And when it comes to our defensive line, what do you guys think here? Let me go through the chat real quick. Damn. You got a lot of players there. Who got this here? Choctaw, Montana. Let me see here. Let me just hit up a couple here. Fuego saying that's a fact. They're Matt Bad. I want tired. Yeah, he's not. Again, don't get your hopes high. It sounds like he's going other places for now. Thomas Garrett said he was open to the Cardinals with Calais Campbell. Yes. Chris Davis. Matt Benton said Chris Davis. Our answer that Jones's guy. What track wreck? That's what he means. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Matt. I'll try to get it next time. Calais Campbell has over 100 sacks in his career, though, right? Thomas Garrett, not as recent. He still had 4. To me, it's crazy. He had 6.5 sacks from the inside, from the interior last year with the Falcons. That surprised me more than the 100 sacks in his career. So, yeah, I mean, good player, good fit for us. We'll see what happens, right? I would like Calais Campbell. I know Tart, I would like him more. Younger, more of a nose tackle, but both guys can be impactful in stopping the run, right? I'm not sure if he was not the man of the year this time. I think he was in the past, Calais Campbell. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Now let me move past linebackers. We got Kendricks. And let's go to our defensive backs specifically. We don't need any safeties. Cornerbacks. So I got 3 names for you guys, and then we're calling this a night here tonight. Let me know what you think. Because we already got Eric Kendricks. He's a Cowboy, linebacker with the other linebackers. I'm not expecting any more real linebackers getting picked up, for the Cowboys in this unless it's like a real low-level guy or a special teams kind of guy. We'll probably use our own draft picks or undrafteds for that. So, cornerback, the last major position. It's really Stephon Gilmore's position, right? That he's exiting right now. This is a real dreamer right here, Xavier Howard. I know you guys are like, oh, no. There's no way. No, he'd be great, but there's no way the Cowboys are going to get him. The Cowboys still, I believe, will negotiate with Gilmore for a return. But if the Cowboys want to go another route, in a comparable maybe sense there, in the sense of maybe trying to get him lower for money, this is the one spot the Cowboys would have to make a bold move, though. Xavier Howard, maybe missing out the first wave of free agency, would he be willing to take a prove-it deal? That's key. Remember, if Xavier Howard comes to the Cowboys on a cheap prove-it deal with Trayvon Diggs on the other side, Deron Bland in the slot, in the nickel spot, and then behind him you got Jordan Lewis, you got like 4 safeties back there, you got a defensive pass rush starts with Micah Parsons, and a defensive coach like Zimmer's gonna fucking get the most out of your guys. To me, Xavier Howard, this is a great place. All eyes on me. Like Tupac said, Xavier Howard will be all eyes on him if he's wearing that star on his helmet. For a 1 year, cheaper deal. Cheaper? Now, with 13, 14, 12 million, that's probably the cheapest you're going to get him for if you're lucky. So I don't think the Cowboys will even come close to paying him. But I'm just throwing it out there. A prove-it deal. Dolphins released him on last Wednesday. He's 30 years old, 4-time Pro Bowler. His best year came in 2020. And he finished third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Now, he's had an incredible career. The Dolphins, by cutting him, saving $23 million with his release. He is from Texas, Xavier Howard. And he was a star for the Baylor Bears in his college career. It would be viewed for him as a homecoming for the defensive, for the cornerback for Xavier Howard. And if the Cowboys lose Stephon Gilmore, the Cowboys, Stephon Gilmore's market value right now is being listed at $11.1 million, according to Sport Track. But while Xavier Howard has passed his prime, for sure, he could get a similar deal as Stephon Gilmore. So I don't know who would you rather have, but I think Xavier Howard is overall a better cornerback than Gilmore right now in his career. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a close one, but they're basically about the same range in cost. So this would be a bold move, a risk. If we lose Gilmore and we don't re-sign him, Xavier Howard could be an upgrade, possibly. But we know Gilmore knows the defensive players on this team. Does that make that a better fit? Or Xavier Howard, is he just a better player? It's going to just fit right in. So, again, Xavier Howard is past his prime, but it would provide an outside cornerback for the Cowboys, help us with, provide so other guys can now drop to depth. And we might be, again, I believe we can still get Xavier Howard possibly even cheaper than Stephon Gilmore. Also, remember, Howard has the fourth most interceptions since 2020 with 17 picks. Of course, we got Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, both of them above him since 2020. So that's one option there, right? Xavier Howard, a name guy. What about Steve Nelson? Not a name guy, but maybe a perfect guy for the Cowboy roster. He has experience playing in the slot as a nickel, but also as a boundary cornerback, which would make him like a Deron Bland kind of guy. Could go inside or outside. Steven Nelson, if he comes to the Cowboys, the Cowboys would protect themselves if something happens to the cornerbacks in the season sometime. We know the issue with it. Right now, Jordan Lewis is the starting slot at this moment. But if one goes down, we got Nashawn Wright. And that's wrong. So Steven Nelson would be the next guy on the list. He might be on the outside or the inside. He can help any of our guys if they go down. Steven Nelson is an option. Again, we keep going back to Gilmore. Cowboys have yet to agree on a new contract with Gilmore, even though both sides are interested. And we acquired him from a trade last year. Cornerback is a significant need for the Cowboys right now, even with Jordan Lewis back. And, no depth past our starting three. Consider, the situation with Stephon Gilmore for $11 million. Trayvon Diggs recovering from the ACL, which we know players just don't come back always fully blessed from ACL injuries. And the guys we've seen, like Michael Gallup and Terrence Steele, have not fully looked anything like they used to be. So with all that in tow there, Steven Nelson is, he's been a model of not getting injured and of durability. He started at least 15 games in a season in his last 6 seasons. So this guy is a full-time starter. Knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt. And in his last 6 years, he's played at least 15 games. That's fantastic. Last year, he played with Eastside Harold's Houston Texans. And he matched a career high 4 interceptions last year. Nelson's coming off a 2-year, $9 million contract. You're looking at $4.5 million a year. Not a bad deal with the Texans. His market should be around that same price point. So if the Cowboys want to get a veteran inside-outside corner, better than Anthony Brown, and much better than Nashawn Wright, Steven Nelson is your guy. So don't overlook him. He might not be a name, but he's a guy that's going to provide some talent. The last guy is the guy we all know and love from Dallas, Stephon Gilmore himself. We talked about him throughout this offseason. He wants to come back to Dallas. He loves Zimmer's coaching, Belichick's coaching, which means he'll be able to handle Zimmer. And Gilmore said the Cowboys, basically, here's the thing. The Cowboys, obviously, we need help at cornerback. Deron Bland is currently on the outside cornerback spot, but he plays best in the slot, which is where Jordan Lewis will be now in the nickel cornerback spot for now, with Diggs on the other side. With Bland, being better moving into the slot cornerback spot, we need another cornerback to play on the other side of Diggs, on the outside, if we move Deron Bland back to slot, back to nickel, where he's best. And that would be Stephon Gilmore, would come right in, of course, pick up where he left off last year. Last year, he only allowed 6.9 yards per target. And when he was attacked, when he was targeted, a passer rating of only 82.7 when he threw against him last year in 2023. He ended the season with 13 pass breakups. He had 2 interceptions. I know that Charger one ended the game. So he was speaking with 96.7 the ticket in February. Gilmore said he wants to sign another deal with the Cowboys in free agency. He said, quote, "I want to come back. We can't talk until March, but that's the goal because I think we do have the pieces to get where we want to go, and I want to be part of that." Now, Jordan Lewis came back, which is good, but the thing I think about is like, man, we have the pieces, but we're letting pieces go. Every fucking day we're letting more pieces go and more pieces go and more pieces go. So does he think the same thing now? Does he think we have what it takes with all the guys that we kind of just let walk and not fill in their spots? Maybe he doesn't feel we have what it takes anymore. I don't know. That's just an option, just a thought. And I also kind of sit back and think, will Stephon Gilmore, will he kind of take a little more of a step back in another year getting older? So, to me, that those are the questions we have to ask. And again, if he's going to be $11 million, last year was a lot less than that. Is that going to be? Do we want to go with Xavier Howard instead? So a couple of different things to do there. I don't think we're going to draft a starting cornerback. So I believe we got to go in free agency and grab one of these guys. And that's what. Hey, listen. You're looking at this week's names, this week's guys that are going to get signed, second and third wave. Well, I hope I got you guys locked and loaded for this week because that is the plan going forward. I see Queenie after dark. Get out of here. I'll put you in a timeout what you deserve. Here we go. How about a 24-hour timeout for big old Queenie? You're out of here. You're not football. You might see Queenie could probably play like nose tackle for us. No joke. She's we'll take on double teams every play. Let me hit the chat up. It's like you guys cracking me up. And I read some of these comments already. Train wreck, he said, Matt. And Chris Davis is trash, but Jones likes him. Yeah. Thomas Garrett said Howard wants too much money. I agree. I think he's going to want way. I mean, again, they're saying $11 million is around his range there. But I don't think the Cowboys are going to pay Stephon Gilmore $11 million. Let me see here. Let me see. We got Dustin Roberts said that's why I ain't tripping because there's still talent out there. Exactly, Dustin. Every day that goes by, the talent gets cheaper. You know who likes that? Oh, you guys. Yeah, I don't even have to do this anymore. You guys know. The Clown Show. They love doing this. They love waiting for the money to go down and then guys getting desperate. And then there's talent out there, but a lot less than there was before, right? Rolando said, "Why not start Bland at the starting quarterback and Diggs don't have to play? Diggs don't have to pay old players. Diggs don't have to play the old players." No, I disagree because listen, Bland is the starting cornerback in the slot, and in this defense, it's not like they're going 3 safeties and 2 corners where you lose Bland. This defense with Zimmer, you're going 2 safeties and 3 corners when you go in the nickel defense. So Bland is always going to be on that field as a slot corner, and that's where he is best. That's all I'm saying there, Rolando. Bland is he's good at outside corner. He is much better as a slot cornerback. So I think if we fix the slot corner, we have Jordan Lewis behind Bland. If Bland gets hurt, if you have Gilmore as one of the cornerbacks with Diggs, if Bland gets hurt, Jordan Lewis steps up. Case closed. If Diggs or Gilmore get hurt, and I'm not going to would none of these things happen, but if one of those guys get hurt, then Bland goes to the outside and Jordan Lewis goes in the slot. That's 4 solid corners. We have 3 right now. We need 1 more. As Modio said, that's affordable. I agree. Matt Batten said, good deal, just don't know who he is. Steve Nelson would be a good pickup, I think. And again, it'd be just he'd be our Nashawn Wright replacement, which would be fantastic. Trust me. And I did see Brandon J say about Cowboys signing Mekhi Becton. I mean, we could, but that's going to be more than Tyron Smith. And the Cowboys, this crew right here, you see this Clown Show? They ain't paying for Mekhi Becton. It's being real. We only got $4 million, and the Cowboy front office loves everybody to know that. We have the least amount of money left to spend in under the cap in free agency. And that's the way the Joneses wanted it. That's the way they love it. So, guys, thank you for rocking with us here for another one, except for Queenie. She has to wait for the After Dark session, which we should be having. We will be having a little After Dark session in about 40 minutes, 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So come join us over there at MCF After Dark, where shit goes crazy. Sometimes we just chill. It just depends, guys. You can go crazy, you can have chill, but it's always a lot of fun. It should always be a lot of fun. There's a panel. There's always discussions. There's always something going down. Usually it's insane, but, I like to keep it controlled. I like to have the controlled environment. Oh, look, I think I just saw him. I just saw After Dark sneaking on in here. What's up, MCF After Dark? I'm sure we can all go to you and follow where you're at soon. See how this show goes over there on MCF. You can just search for it too, guys. But I try not to promote it too much. I just kind of say it a couple of times. You guys go, you go. If you don't, you don't. It's a late show for all insomniatic MCF. The wife's already sleeping. She has work a lot earlier than I do tomorrow. But also, I have insomnia. This is a normal thing for me. So that's why we do these shows so late. And that's why I'm even doing a new late show on YouTube, on MCF After Dark, where all the streams are deleted after they end. After the live stream's over, it's immediately deleted. We drink, we party, we have music. Crazy shit goes on. Sometimes women even pop a breast out or something. I don't know. I've heard it happens out there. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But either way, a lot of fun over there in the overtime sessions on MCF After Dark. So join us for that. It's a lot of fun. We also got, let me shout out everybody here. Dustin Roberts, Matt Batten, Dak Delusional, Dustin Roberts, Thomas Garrett, Fuego, Asmodeus, Andy and Boogie in the house. Choctaw Montana, of course. Mr. 808 here with us. Mike Aldana, appreciate you. Who else? We have Rolando Rodriguez bringing it. Yeah, I think we got everyone caught up with here. At least all the way in the back end. I know Freedom First was first. I know we have Brandon J here with us, chilling. We got the wife was in the chat earlier. Of course, MCF After Dark. Fuego, Brandon J. Ganja Man in the house saying, Cooper Rush, 83.33% of his win percentage is statistically better than Dak, who is at 62.93. Ganja Man, I love your numbers. It's funny, but it's so silly because Cooper Rush played in a lot less games and he did a lot less than Dak Prescott. The only reason the Cowboys won because of defense, because of coaching. That's why we won those games. That's why Cooper Rush is a quote-unquote good win percentage. It wasn't because of him. It's because of literally every single person around him outside of Cooper Rush. Or else, guess what? He would not be getting paid $2.5 million as our backup quarterback. He'd be somewhere else starting. And that's why Dak goes somewhere else and gets paid $60 million if he leaves the Cowboys. So those numbers are obviously Ganja Man. I love you, man. I love you all in Hawaii, bro. But you're wrong about those numbers. And I love the Ganja Man. But those numbers are wrong. Thank you, Matt. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Appreciate you. Fuego said, I bet you anything if Cooper were to play against Green Bay, we would have won that game. Fuego, hells no. We would have been punting. It wouldn't have been picks. It would have been punts. It would have been punts because the defense was allowing too many points. The offense would not be moving down the field with Cooper Rush. You know how bad, guys, the games that we won with Cooper Rush? He was statistically the worst quarterback in the league. Analytically, the worst quarterback in the league, Cooper Rush. And I think statistically. We couldn't move the ball on offense when he was our quarterback. Just facts for the people that care about facts. Chiefs are at $15 million under the cap. They got money to spend. We don't. Good night, Rolando. Appreciate you. Oh, he's coming from South Texas. Much love to you. Burn Bar, spreading the love there. Yes. The MCF info, the love info. You know how to do it. There are different ways to drop the love here. But we're at the end of the stream. Dropping the love will start a new week tomorrow. Let me crown them champions here tonight. Fuego, no communication there. Good night. Take care, Fuego. Appreciate you. Ganja Man, much love. Have a good night, Matt. Burn dropping the membership info. Fuego, hell no. I would never have rode with. If we ride with Rush, we might as well just call it a season, man. We just might just take our 4 wins and go home. On that note, guys, can I do this without you all? I am shouting out the champions this week. First off, the sponsor of the week, the Bram Man. Jeremy Bramlett back at it again. He was also our membership gifting champion. So big shout outs to the OG, Jeremy Bramlett and his fam. He always been rocking it here with us. Always stops in. Truck driver, busting his ass. Appreciate him and his love last week. And now after, he also had the stream boss, which obviously has been taken over by Mark Hovsepian. Yes, sir. And then when you look at the Cash App side of things, the king of the Cash App for 5 straight weeks, you're loving it. It's McLovin. Yes. McLovin, has a Dolphins fan, has been dominating the board for a while. But that's changing, guys. Him and Bramlett were taking over the top spots, but that's changed by one person, by one fatal swoop. Deadfool. Yeah, Deadfool back in the MCF After Dark sessions, which is coming up now. Deadfool squeaked by McLovin and Mark Hovsepian. Last night, he dropped a lot, and I got fucked up. But Deadfool is the big winner. He ain't no fool. He's the winner. He's the champion. He's the Cash App king, and he's going to be the sponsor of the week. A double dosage takeover by Deadfool. Appreciate you, Deadfool. Much love to him. He never goes on panel, but he's always lurking, watching. So appreciate him. And also, we got to also announce the champion. As you can look right above there, we know that Jeremy Brownlett was the gifting champion. But who's the winner this week? By 2 over Skeptical fan, it's Jason Renfro, showing back up as the king of the gifting membership board. So much love to him. He's the gifting champion. He will be replacing Jeremy Bramlett up there, as you can see it floating around. So you got our guy here, Jason Renfro, as the gifting champion. You got Deadfool as the Cash App king, breaking the big streak by McLovin, and also taking over from Jeremy Bramlett. Deadfool takes over once again. I'm going to have to remind them, he better be a Cowboy fan. I'm going to find out. Either way, appreciate you, Deadfool. Much love and congratulations. Go Cowboys. He's our big champion on both boards. He'll be getting a membership raffle for the, we talked about this, I think, earlier tonight. We always talk about it, right? But when it comes to the star level and over everything monthly membership raffle, Deadfool and Jeremy Bramlett, they're both in. Along with all the star level members and the over everything members. You can win a Sona Stitch jersey, old school, new school, any style. New players, old players, Hall of Famers, Cowboy players. You got like 40 different guys, different schemes and styles of shirts, jerseys, Sona Stitch, authentic like the whole 9 yards. They're in that raffle, along with the star level, over everything, which is Seabass. He gets 2 membership, 2 raffle entries, and Deadfool gets 1. And so does Jeremy Bramlett right now. So much love to those guys, and congratulations on that side of things. On that note, family, we'll be over on MCF After Dark for the finale here, for the kicking off really a new week, but it's over there, it's monthly, over here it's weekly. So, we continue the month over there, but we'll finish with the week here, and tomorrow we kick off a new week, new sponsor of the week, new Cash App king, and we'll see if there's any new free agents to come to Dallas. What do you think? We hope. Burn Bar dropping them stars, Fuego dropping them stars, the emojis. If you're in the navy blue silver star or over everything level, drop those emojis now like it's hot. I hear you, Fuego. I hear you. Listen, Dak turned me off as well, but I also know I can't blame it all on Dak. I know it's so many other things than just Dak, and I know Dak is a top 7 quarterback. I can't blame Dak. There's top 20 quarterbacks that win Super Bowls. So it's on others, not just Dak. And a top 7 quarterback, you just can't get those guys. It's like 5% chance you'll get them in a 10-year span. I'm just not ready to switch them out and just roll the dice for 20 bad years. You know what I mean? Or 10, or wasted first round pick, or wasted quarterback pick that's like Paxton Lynch, and he's a backup. He's working at the car wash now. You know what I mean? There he is, Burn Bar dropping those emojis. Make sure we troll those Giant fans, Eagle fans, Commander, Commode fans, Squealer fans, and rep that star over everything. Guys, thank you once again for joining us here. Got to give the extra special shout out to those that dropped the love from above yesterday and today. James Davis, Roy Strasner, Jason Renfro, Deadfool, De Lunatic, Stanley Smith, Skeptical Fan, and Brandon J. Appreciate you all. Today we end this week, but we'll be back at it tomorrow once again with the news, info, and updates. And hey, we'll see if the Cowboys, we only got 6 guys left to lose, but there's a lot of guys out there we can still get. And we talked about it tonight. Hopefully we all keep this in our mind, and we turned the page this week, and maybe wave 2 and 3 brings up a couple good deal guys that have great fits in our team. That's my hope. We got 5, but we want that 6 and beyond. I hear you, Dak. Dak delusional fans, like this guy here with the Dak haters, which is this guy at the bottom here. I just typed this in. Is always going to blame Dak, even though we know it's much more than Dak. Dak is part of the problem, but by far the biggest problem. He's always part of the problem. It's just everybody on this team is part of the problem. But by far not the biggest problem. You should put Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones can't manage a team. That's what you should put as your title, as your name. So, anyways, family, everybody in the house, thank you for joining us for another week here. As the wife always says, why do we do what we do here basically every single day of the week? It's about that navy blue. That's silver too, and that star over everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, we always rep that star over everything. And of course, for 6.5+ years, almost 7 years on July 1st, it is 7 years on YouTube. For this channel, for My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, your Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Fuck that 5. We got to get that 6 and beyond. Appreciate everybody in the chat dropping the knowledge all night long. All night. Appreciate y'all dropping the knowledge. Of course, can't do this without you guys. Drops of love from above. As we wrap up another one here, locked and loaded for another stream tomorrow, a new week tomorrow. Closing it out here, clocking out and dropping out for this week and for tonight. As the wife always says before we get out of here, before we actually drop out for the night, we got to drop the beat. Oh, yeah. That beat's been officially dropped. That means we're on the way out of here for the night, for the week. We'll be back tomorrow for some more. Right, Asmodeus? Game over. And there's also the MCF After Dark session, which technically starts a new week. And I already see I have to take a shot or a hit over there because Scotty 971 dropped the 10 on it. Starts next week. He'll be on first place for tomorrow's stream. But he's already kicking it off here tonight on MCF After Dark. So join us for that if you can find us. On that note, guys, right here, we wrap up another day of news, info, and updates on our MCF Cowboys chat. A lot of question marks still to be filled up. Al Harris promoted. Great. Tyron Smith out of here to the Jets. The Joneses. Steven, why is he wearing sunglasses then regular? I just don't get this idiot. Stephen Jones is a dumb fuck. Jerry Jones is a old fuck. They got to get their shit together. This is the week that the Cowboys usually shine a little bit more. Let's see if they do it. We'll be reporting on this tomorrow and more right here on MCF, where it's always about that navy blue. That silver, too. And you know it. That star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to all of you out there in the house, even the haters. Appreciate you all. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep it growing. 34,200 and beyond. And, of course, hit that notification bell. Move it to all videos. Turn it on, that bell. All videos so you know when we're going live. You can also check when we're going live through Discord. You can follow us on all social media. We also post when we're going live there. Twitter, X, whatever. At MyCowboysFamily. And all the rest of the information is in the description down below. If you're watching on the replay, comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for a new one, a new week. Coming soon. Stay safe. Much love to all. I hope everyone had a great weekend and St. Patrick's Day. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!